Cute, sexy, and fun. You're watching CSF Nation's Own, WMK TV, Channel 90.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, CSF Nation. I'm Scarlett Sakamoto, and we have plenty of stuff to go over on today's episode of the Sexiest Sunday Afternoon Art Show on YouTube, Makini Live.
Hello, CSF Nation. Hello, everyone. I'm Brianna Akasha, and we welcome you to Makini Live, where we have plenty of topics to go over today. Sorry for repeating what Scarlett just said. Anyway, we hope your weekend was just as active as mine was, and we hope you enjoy today's show.
Hope you all having a good weekend. It was definitely chilly last weekend, but it hadn't stopped me from skating though. Just seen a lot of stuff going down in the city last week, and looks like the internet has been a buzzing last week too. Oh, my bad. Where are my manners? Welcome to Makini Live, and joining Scarlett Sakamoto and Brianna Akasha is your voice on the street, Bubblegum Girls, or you just call me Kiki for short.
And who's the one with the long-winded introduction again?
Oh, shut up!
Okay. Just for the record, Kiki was going off last week on, Saya takes too damn long with her introduction. So damn, she's always trying to flirt with the audience.
I did
And
not.
now the old saying goes, the shoe is on the other foot. Just for that, Kiki, I will now take an extra long introduction to spite you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, CSF Nation. I hope you all are doing well on this lovely Sunday afternoon. I am the Kuroneko of this very program, but you can just refer to me as Midilva-kun. And we are here to serve you, our lovely and divine audience with, of course, the sexiest, delicious, most scrumptious content for your Sunday afternoon brunch or dinner or both. I don't mind. Welcome to Makini Live, my lovelies. Mwah! I did steal that from Brianna. I did steal that from Maricela. Maybe use that more often. So, Sakamoto, lay it on us. What's on the menu? Aside from me, Manvia-sama, Ginger-kun, Maricela-chan, and basically half the women who make up the Makini Live staff.
Oh, Dios mío. I'm sorry. Makini is watching this right now, and his face is redder than ever.
Anyway, we have some Oblivion and Expedition 33 news to go over, some more Hoyoverse Supla, and some Discord talk because of the new CEO that fell on Makini's desk earlier this week. That's not a euphemism. This is going to be an exciting show, but Makini is so red right now.
Guys, I think Makini is getting a little bit angry right now, so maybe we should start the show.
It's so red right now. It's sub-red right now.
Bro, you brought this on yourself, so don't get mad at us, okay?
Yes, Maki-kun. This is all your fault. Anyway, let us begin, ladies.
Makini Live starts now.
Everyone's so rare. That queen's got the flair. Drop them panties where X fills the air. Everyone's so rare. That queen's got the flair. Drop them panties where lights are flashing bright. Turn it up all night. Drop the panties light. Everything's so bright. Feel the look around. Dancing to the sound. Panties hit the ground. Makini, world renowned. Feel the love around. Dancing to the sound. Everything's so right.
Ooh, it's my show now. Hello, sweeties. I am not sure where Monkey is. He was here originally.
I'm looking at you.
Are you finished with the canned audience?
Okay. I'm staring. You know why I'm staring at you right now?
Why?
Because you haven't because you have become the bane of my existence for the past 4 years now.
You love me.
Okay, you want to know what happened? Ginger Wolf came into my show on Friday morning, and she did the exact same thing you were doing to me every single Sunday. And I asked her, and I called her out on it. She said, "Yes, that is the reason why I'm here." And now the girls backstage are doing the same thing.
I have been told multiple times that I really should just make, weapon of mass distraction t-shirts.
No,
I've had enough people say that they would buy them.
The point is that because I'm a faceless profile pic, because I'm just a profile picture here, your point is to get me to blush on screen.
Yes.
Ginger was doing that on Friday, by the way. So is this some kind of coordinated effort, basically?
No, I have not reached out to Ginger Wolf. You know what usually winds up being in my DMs. Come on.
I'm sorry. You tried. I'm sorry. I'm just saying. All of y'all. This is a group effort here. I don't even show my face anymore on screen, and yet you guys still try to get me to blush.
I do get a kick out of making people break. You can ask the guys that I mod, very much, the spoiler kings. I crack jokes in there. I do my best to make the one guy blush. And I crack a lot of jokes because I get a huge kick out of how the one guy responds.
The worst thing is I'm going to Vegas later this year.
Oh, nice.
And I'm gonna have the worst poker face ever.
Yeah, you do.
Just come to that realization.
But thinking of Vegas, I had some wonderful news this week.
Okay, what's that?
You remember I told you about what happened to my favorite wrestler that I've been following since before COVID?
Yes.
You know, Shogun?
Yes.
He's out of the hospital. First time since Thanksgiving.
There we go. Congratulations. Sincerely, that is a good thing.
Yeah.
This is a good thing.
And I teared up seeing the picture.
Everybody's in a recovery period right now.
There's definitely there's been a lot of recovery so far. I can safely say that, and there's going to be a lot of recovery in the future. Mm-hmm. But he is out of the hospital, and seeing him on.
I'm just saying the trend. I'm just saying the trend this month. I feel like
it's
a recovery month. I feel like it's a month of recovery. You know.
Honestly, I think it's the theme of the year.
It's the theme of the year, recovery.
Well, that's the theme I'm going with, and as opposed to anything that might include, world type actions, because I don't want to think too hard on that.
Exactly.
Yeah. And hey, Punk.
Wait, we have a show to do, right?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. CSF Nation, I'm Makini, the Arts German Illustrator, and this is my co-host, Mom Bear, and we welcome you to the Sexiest Sunday Afternoon Art Show on YouTube, Makini Live. Hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend. It's the month of April draws to a close, and the summer months kick in. Okay, actually, to be fair, my birthday month is coming up, so it's like in 2 weeks, and we've been getting rain all this weekend. I'm like, huh?
Yeah. Well, you know what that means, right?
What does that mean?
It's gonna be May.
Mom, please,
I'm contemplating right now. I'm play this clip right now. I'm going to play this soundbite right now. I'm just going to.
I'm pretty sure Little Bear would give you 100%, approval on whatever soundbite you're thinking of. Because she's literally going, "Mom, please stop."
I'm not mad that I'm mad that you said that. I'm also mad that you stole that joke right from under my nose. Okay.
What?
Fuck.
What?
He's upset I stole the joke out from under him.
Listen, hope you guys having a great weekend, guys. Put it in the chat. Let me know what you guys think. How's your weekend been going? We are back, and we got plenty, and I mean plenty, to go over today, concerning two specific topics, and I got a lot to say. So, before we do that, yes, I did some. So, this is the redesign. This is the redesign design. Mm-hmm. The whole overall theme is less is more, and it feels like I'm doing that with this right now. That's what it feels like, and it feels like a glow up, like a legitimate, a legit glow up. Okay, maybe a little bit of a glow up compared to back and forth, but still, a glow up is a glow up, though. Anyway, anyway, very proud of how this one. Let me know what you guys think so far. And of course, we're getting to the end of the month, so I got a lot of art to share for this month's members this month. So we got plenty to go over. So, but today, you guys know what we're here for. You guys know exactly what we're here for, and we are here to provide it to you. Did I switch as we switch chairs? Oh, sorry. Anyway, we got 6 people watching. And I know more will be on the way. So thank you guys so much. If you guys can do us all a favor.
Hey, if you're enjoying this program, please smack that like button and make a jiggle.
And smack that subscribe button if you want to see more art content from Makini. Thank you so much, and hope you enjoy the show.
Later.
Thank you. This is plenty. That is a lot of like and subscribe button to grab. That's all I'm gonna say.
Mhm.
Anyway, guys, we got plenty to go over, so let's go ahead and say hi to everyone. I think we have a. I don't know if we could count this as a pre-stream legend, but you were getting close to count that though. But guys, put the poll up, and I'd like to see what your thoughts on today, specifically one topic today, as we get right into it. And so I'm going to get into. We're going to do some rendering today. We're going to get some rendering today, so definitely look forward. Hope you guys are looking forward to that. Anyway, let's go ahead and say hi to everybody in the chat. First, you guys have been absolutely amazing. No goals this time. No goals this time, unless you guys really, really, really want me to do Expedition 33 next weekend, which we will talk about. Anyway. Okay. Power, good morning. And Power is already spilling off our main course of the topic, if you guys did not read the title.
Yep, the Power News Network.
It's going to be fun. Yeah. I got an article, by the way. I have an article, by the way. So we're gonna go over this lovely article from PC Gamer, and it is a lot of coping. So anyway, yeah. So we got plenty of stuff going on with Oblivion. By the way, we'll check the Steam charts for Oblivion and Expedition 33 later on today as well. So don't worry. Yes, I've known about the whole flow with Shannon Sharp stepping down from ESPN because of some really crazy shit. Really crazy stuff. I'm keeping up with Black and White.
I've heard a lot about that. The Hip Hop Talks group that I hang out in their Discord, they just went ham on it and just info dumped.
Mm-hmm.
So, wow.
It's tough, man. It's so tough, man. It's crazy.
I'll just touch on,
go ahead.
There are some things, I mean, the age difference, yeah, that is a little questionable, but it is legal.
Yes.
Two consenting adults.
Yes.
There has been questions raised of, one, this isn't the first time that this has come up, and
yikes.
He is a celebrity, so I imagine that might be, kind of a, hazard of the course.
Mm-hmm.
And he was told on a previous interview that he really needs to stop with the young snow bunnies, quote unquote, and get himself a more seasoned woman.
More seasoned veteran, basically.
Yeah.
I feel like that should be kind of I feel like that should be kind of like a tread lightly scenario for any guy out there, though. I feel like that should be like very tread carefully. Yeah.
I mean, the whole OF thing, I mean, you kind of understand, her goal, what her main motivations are. At least you should.
Do you think that's my always be my stance on OF? Do you think? It's I play the game. It's just that that's always something that you got to tread lightly on sometimes, especially if you're in a relationship with somebody who's like an OF account and such like that. You just got to be very, very careful. It's like almost like a safety precaution, just in case.
This may be a hot take, probably not entirely hot, but you know what? You can rename it any way you want, but Rose by any other name smells just as sweet. It's still, you can call it an OnlyFans, you can call it whatever. You're still doing it's still the same thing. I mean, really, it's just packaged in a different way. The thing I'm having that I struggle with is, and this isn't an alleged, this is something that was confirmed. He apparently did dox somebody, and with me, that's a big no. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big no from me, though.
That's a no for me.
Yeah, that is. Oh, I can play a new clip. Oh, I can play my new soundbite. Yes.
Go for it.
Hey, yo, what the fuck? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's my response to that. Yeah.
If you're willing to drop
OF stuff, I mean, we can look past it. Just
it is.
You got to be careful with that. That's usually a cautionary tale and stuff like that. But when you get to the doxing part, yeah, the sympathy is
in a previous one, he settled out of court for $54 million. In a previous one, you don't drop that kind of cash. I'm just saying, you don't drop that kind of cash if you believe you're innocent.
So this ain't his first rodeo. This ain't the first time then.
No, it's not.
Oh fuck.
Like I said, they dropped
a
lot of information.
Yeah. Hey, yo, what the fuck? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of the problem.
Yeah, I have zero sympathy. I'm sorry. It's gone. It is poof up and disappeared.
Hey, Chaos.
Oh my god. Yes, we're gonna get to that. Now, power. Now, leave for that. Now, power. Now, power, you sly little devil, how dare you? You little devil, how dare you? How friggin' dare you bring up that? How dare you bring up the live action Cowboy Bebop? By the way, because Danielle Pineda, we're gonna get into this one later. This is gonna be a fun topic. I'm very interested in this one because Danielle Pineda, remember the actress who played Faye Valentine in live action Cowboy Bebop, the proto Rachel Zegler who went out after fans, basically. Yeah, well now I think she's having that either it's a midlife crisis moment, a hit the wall moment, or I said something really stupid and now my career is in jeopardy moment.
Yeah.
Or all three. I'm gonna lean towards the I screwed up real bad and now my career is in trouble.
Yeah, I'm gonna just go with the I'm reading from a script because I want my career back.
So it's the Rachel Zegler effect, basically.
Rachel Zegler, Shannon Sharp. Dude didn't even bother copying and paste. He sent the screenshot that his lawyer sent him.
I think you make it sound like every actor, every personality, every celebrity, like Hollywood stuff like that. They got like this copy and paste. It's like this copy and paste, like word, like printed out. It's like a printed document of how to apologize when, in the case of a situation where you screwed up your entire career.
Yep,
that's what it is. It's a copy and paste, basically. Just control me.
I mean, if we really took a look at most of these speeches, they're not that different.
It's a copy. It's just like the YouTube apology,
Mm-hmm.
It's just like the YouTube apology. Okay, it's just like the YouTube apology. This is an example. Here's an example. Okay. If you guys very don't know, that was a whole trend of like YouTube. There's a playlist. I'm gonna show you a playlist real quick. There's an entire playlist on YouTube apologies, and it's so funny. But it's like you go through it, and why can I? I'm sorry. My freaking sorry, for some reason my freaking my damn. I got a new keyboard and now that's not working. And I'm just like, why? What is going on with my keyboard? Okay. Every time. And this is a Razer keyboard, by the way. This is like a freaking Razer top of the line keyboard. It's like, it's not like connecting. Oh, come on now. No. So there's this whole thing with YouTube apologies where it's just like, it's the same format It's like done like the same way, and it's like hundreds of people doing the exact same type of YouTube apology. That's what it sounds like here, basically.
Somebody actually put them all together. That's awesome.
Yes. And it usually this is how it usually starts. Okay, it's like, guys, we gotta talk. Or this is the video I didn't want to make, or I didn't want to talk about this. And that's usually how the title is, that we need to talk about this, or I didn't want to make this topic. That's how most YouTube apologies start off with.
Yep.
Of course, we know the infamous, the worst one, infamous one, which the most infamous, like the worst YouTube apology ever made is the one where the chick who did an entire apology in song after she got caught, let's just say she got caught, let's say, trying to persuade and like mingle with some of her more younger fans on Discord.
Oh, jinkies.
That is the most famous YouTube apology video ever. For some reason, my USB, for some reason, it is not working. I don't know why. So I'm trying to get my freaking thing to work. Okay. Come on. No, my freaking this happened last time where I had to stream down because of my freaking keyboard's not working. And oh my god. Okay, entertain the audience just for real quick.
Yeah.
So, you want to go read?
Figuring that out. I'll go back to saying hi to the chat.
Yeah, go back to that.
Because we stopped at power. Hello, Dennis. I also felt the body type thing was weird, but otherwise the remake was really good, though I still they had taken time to romanticize Imperial's armor. I assume you're talking Andor, probably. And we got friggin' Punk, who's lurking while watching the hockey game.
I completely forgot about something. So there's a whole thing with Star Wars, I guess the next season of Andor, the new season of Andor, which nobody really watched. They get into the topic of struggle snuggles. Let's put it that way. Struggle snuggling. Yeah, it gets into the topic of struggle snuggling. And at first, I was like, that is a gigantic WTF especially in a Star Wars, especially something that is more Star Wars centric. But then I thought at the same time, I was just like, Andor, from what I'm hearing, is tackling much more darker topics, much more mature topics. So
they are.
I guess it's not really out of the blue. I guess when it comes to topics like that, it's just how you handle it, how you approach it.
And that's the thing that kills me. You got all of these, long-standing, hardcore, I'm an OG Star Wars fan. This is my theory. If you know where I'm going. Going on and on about, we don't need this in Star Wars. What have you been watching?
Yeah, but Star Wars has hit mature topics beforehand.
Yeah,
I mean, thing. It's just how you it really just comes down to how you approach it, really.
But just taking a look at the original trilogy alone, you had mass genocide or I will include with the prequels, you did have the deleting of children.
Yep.
You had slavery.
The younglings. I remember that. That was great.
it's slavery, not just the Wookiees, but also with Leia. And I promise you, what we saw Jabba do to Leia, that was not consensual.
That was not consensual.
But
killing him off was empowering, though.
Yeah. And we have all of these heavy
the biggest crime lords in the galaxy.
We're going to put a stop at this particular topic.
Snuggling. No, it's like it's just how you. It's just it just comes down to how you approach it, really. And so it was just that would just got people.
I was like, understand a lot. Some people are. Well, we don't need 5 minutes of it, you know.
Listen, it goes into that whole thing with the what was the game that was banned? The game that was banned, it was called No Mercy. And there was a whole feminist group that got that game like shut down on Steam because it's a visual novel and it deals with relationships between family members and much more aggressive sexual acts towards women. And it's just like people have played it and they have said that compared to actual, like, you know, I don't know if I can say it on YouTube, actual H visual novels, what is going on here is mid by comparison. And it's like, yeah, that was like, this is worth trying to rile up an entire feminist group organization to get it banned. Like, really? Yeah, that's what I'm getting. Sorry, that's just what it reminded me of. It's just like,
it is what it is.
I did talk about that thing on a previous Makini in the Morning episode. So anyway, go ahead.
No, it's nonsense like this, and you know, I've said it multiple times. Star Wars fans are the most toxic fans. It's why I washed my hands of the whole franchise years ago.
Fair
because
point.
They're toxic, they're inconsistent. The amount of times I've seen, you know, fans turn around and say, just get away from the Skywalkers. Just get away from the Skywalkers. First thing they do when they get away from the Skywalker saga, you know, what do you hear? Is you hear the same people complaining, this isn't my Star Wars. Make up your mind.
Yeah, you know my stance. And I'm just like, you know what? It's the you're in the age of apathy, and enjoy it because you can't get out once you get into the age of apathy. Now, once you get into that apathetic stage, you can't really get out of it anymore.
You can actually.
Like, it's really done. You know what I mean?
You can, but a lot of them do it just for clicks.
It's done, you know. But yeah, it's just kind of funny. Off topic. Let's go ahead and continue. Where are we?
I think I covered most. I think I highlighted most people.
Don't want a Disney rant.
Honestly, I think the whole franchise should go the way of Alderaan.
I think Disney is doing it to themselves. Just saying. Anyway,
they're looking for Star Wars and Alderaan places.
You see, you got that idea now. See, I got that idea. I got that vision in my head. Just like, oh, brilliant! Oh, I love it. Hopefully we check out Star Wars. I've checked out a lot of stuff lately. Anyway, difficulty. Good morning. Yes, the girls have been messing with me too because y'all trying to get me to blush on stream. Anyway, and who's that? We got I don't know if I can count Punk as a pre-stream legend, but might be close enough. Anyway, Punk, thank you for the $2 super chat saying Makini draws. Bro! Boo! Okay. I thought you said bro, but I was like, boo. Okay. That's how you feel, Punk? I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. That's how you personally how you feel, Punk. So for that one, I shall. I feel hurt, but in the interest of fairness, that was a $2 super chat. For this one, I shall give you a Miyabi. Thank you so much, man. Really appreciate that. Thank you, Plot, for the super chat. And I know you're messing with me. Because on Parrot Head with the, of course, the Boomer Kitty comment as well. Oh, it has to be originally when not done. I made it's oh, by the way, Nemesis of Eden. Hail, you beautiful beings. Hope you're all doing well today. Thank you.
Hello.
And to you as well, Nemesis of Eden. Good to see you. Eli. Good to see you, my man. Hope you are doing well. I'm doing that. I think we are finally all the way down to the bottom. Okay, so yeah, my keyboard's not working again. Yeah. So we'll have to work around this for some weird ass reason. My keyboard's not working again, and this is like the second time on stream that has happened. This is a new keyboard, by the way. So I don't know. Anyway, we'll have to work around that. Now, let's go ahead and get right into the topic since we're 38 minutes in, and let's go ahead and get right into what I'm going to have to do. What I'm going to have to do is we're just going to have to work around this, and I think we should be fine. So the first topic and the main topic, Elder Scrolls. Now, so on Tuesday we had a stream. We had a stream going basically for Elder Scrolls Oblivion remake, and they basically shadow dropped it. No, they announced it on the same day as their reveal. Yeah, they said, "Oh, by the way, the game's released today." So the game, which I'm gonna have to use my external shit for this one. I'm gonna have to use some of my external work for this one because I need to because unfortunately my keyboard is not working right now. Anyway, so Oblivion remake, its Steam DB charts are at, if I'm correct, Oblivion remaster. Or sorry, not remake, it's a remaster, and that is Steam DB. Okay, so I'm using my okay, so Oblivion Remastered Steam charts. It is 200. Now here's what we got. 210,000 in game, 210,000 24-hour peak, and 210,000 at an all-time peak. So it, as of right this moment, it set a new it broke its previous record on Steam over this weekend. So congratulations to
Nice.
Congratulations to and this is going to get into a further topic that I want to bring up as well. And we'll get into that later, of course, with another game alongside it. Now, the reviews have been very positive. Very positive. People are loving it. It's not more than just, nostalgia region. It's more than just nostalgia reasons, which I will get into later. More than just nostalgia reasons, but also, it's Elder Scrolls. The game has been out for nearly 20 years. 20 plus. Think about that. Time flies, doesn't it?
Yeah.
20 plus years. Skyrim is over 10 years old, by the way. Skyrim is over 10 years old, possibly 15 years next year. But nearly a decade and a half old. But with Oblivion being 2 decades old, and the remaster is what it is. It's a remaster. It does, it does a lot of bug fixes, and they kept a lot of stuff in there from the original version of the game too, which is actually a pretty cool thing that they put in there as well. But amidst of all the praise, and I think it's well-deserved praise, because it seems what it has done is lit a fire under it. Made it the Oblivion remake or remaster was basically basically reminding people why they love Bethesda titles in the first place. And the reason I can't show any images, like I said, sorry, my freaking keyboard right now is not responding. Really, really irritating. So I'm have to find a workaround. So guys, bear with me on this one. But there was some controversy on launch. And if you guys do not know what the controversy I'm referring to, it has been circling all over the internet. It has gone viral. The controversy is that during the character creation menu of Oblivion, I want to remind you guys, Oblivion is a 20-year-old title. They put the dreaded body type A and body type B. Yes. You guys are not surprised. I know that. On a 20-year-old title. See, this causes an issue, basically, for two reasons. Because, in fact, there's a specific side quest in the game where your character's gender is actually important. So
really?
either that is a bad oversight, or clearly everybody's in cahoots with what's going on. Well, when I'm gonna ask you something. Marbury. I'm gonna give you a multi-choice question.
Okay.
So when there was talk, when the whole thing that was centered around, when the whole thing about the character creation screen not having male or female referred to as body type A or body type B, what choice did you think was going to happen next? A, the people were going to talk about it, riled up, get angry over it. B, the detractors were going to say it's not a big deal. C, some lone wolf decided to make a mod that reverts the selection screen back to male or female, or D, all of the above?
I'm going to go with all of the above.
Yes, that is what happened. All of the above. So this is going to be a twofold here, okay? This is going to be a I am going to enjoy this, okay? This is going to be a rant from me. This is going to be a more I'm not going to hold back, Mama Bear, so I'm just going to warn you right now, okay?
Okay, go have at it.
So, a couple of modders, and I think now more than ever, modders are important. Modders, in my time as a PC master race, in my time of the PC master race, I have developed such a love for modders now, because of course, obviously, my time was Street Fighter V, Street Fighter 6, Zenless, Need for Speed, and obviously Cyberpunk. By the way, I think I'm close to 1,000+ mods at this point. I know it's not shocking. Someone was going to see that, and they decided to put together a mod that reverts the selection back to type A and back to male and female instead of type A and type B. Now, can you get now I'm going to give you a multi-choice question. I'm going to give you a second multi-choice question, Mom Bear. What do you think was going to... Okay, so the modder puts the mod up publicly not even a day later, like not even a day, like a couple hours later after launch on Nexus Mods. What did you think was going to happen next? A, the mod would be removed. B, the mod being removed causes it to go viral. C, Nexus Mods remove the mod and then makes a flimsy excuse only to have the pushback so big that they reverted the changes and now the mod is up on the page again. Or D, all of the above?
All of the above?
Survey says so I don't have a bell, but survey says, oh my god. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. All of the above. Okay, so Nexus Mods. Now let me just make a full disclaimer here. Yes, I play Cyberpunk on PC. Yes, the 1,000+ mods that I have is all from Nexus Mods. And it's through the Vortex Mod Manager, which is an easy tool to use. Okay? I am just saying, you can criticize Nexus Mods. Well, I can criticize Nexus Mods and yet still use the platform. So that definitely makes me a hypocrite, admittedly. Oof.
Mm-hmm.
We'll take that, okay? You can call me a hypocrite. You can call me a hypocrite all you want to on this one. Doesn't mean I still can't criticize it at the very least. Nexus Mods got rid of the mod and actually banned the user who uploaded it because of some stupid flimsy excuse on toxic behavior, which from what I can tell, there was not really any proof on that. And the pushback was so hard, it went viral. the pushback was so hard that Nexus mods had to revert their decision to ban the mod, and now it is officially on the trending page. When you look up Skyrim Remastered on Nexus mods, it is on the trending. It is the first thing you see is the body type selector. So they had to revert back, and they made this excuse up of the mod did not violate terms of service.
Mm-hmm.
The mod did not violate terms of service. We just had a problem with the modder's toxic behavior. Which, do you have any proof of that? Do you have that's a very flimsy excuse. Now, consider the fact that this is Nexus mods who have a history of banning mods that don't politically aligned with them. And yes, this has to be a political issue at this point. It's you would be living under a rock. You'd be hiding under, I'll say the kindest way. You have to be completely delusional to not notice the pattern that Nexus mods do. To see that the people behind this modding platform, one of the top modding platforms, by the way, who they ideologically belong to and who is the moderators of Nexus mods, basically. So the excuse is flimsy. The excuse is flimsy. And everybody, and they got called out religiously because they have. So let's put it this way. So you can have mods that. You can't have a body type A, or you can't have a mod that switches back the character creation screen to male and female, but you have no problem with a mod that makes NPC children killable in Skyrim.
Yeah.
You can have a mod. You can have a mod that race swaps Geralt in Witcher 3 to black. But if you have a mod that is a custom model of Pan Am from Cyberpunk and it's white and it's a white Pan Am, basically, that's banned. You see the double standard here. Rules for thee, but not for me, right?
Yep.
You can have a mod that gives Captain America in Marvel Rivals the current president of the United States. Have that banned, and then go on this flimsy excuse of, oh, we're politically neutral. We're going to ban mods with replacing characters with Joe Biden or Kamala Harris. Which turns out that not be true. Turns out they're full of gonk. Gonk, by the way. So, and I think the other pressure is, and why I'm talking about this is because another modding platform, I think its name is DNG Mods or something like that. They came out and basically said the mod is banned on Nexus mods, but we now have it on our platform. In fact, the creator of the mod said you can re-upload this mod without credit onto other platforms and on Nexus too. So they had to do some sneak around for the time being. They had to do some sneak around tactics to put that mod installed. So Nexus mods, I think they've woken up. No, they've never woken up. No, they're not going to. They're too far gone. No, Nexus mods has come to the realization that if they keep up this attitude up, they will not be the biggest modding game in town. And they're not now, because other modding sites are popping up to basically be as an alternative to Nexus mods. See, this is what happens when, just like what we see with Sony and the PlayStation 5, when you are when you're at the top of the food chain, and either you're at the top of the food chain or when you're the only game in town, what happens? You get a little too big for your britches. Isn't that right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. When you're the only game in town, you get a little too power hungry. You get a little too arrogant, as they say. Like you need to be humbled, as they always say. You know, that's the whole thing. You know, when someone rises to the top, you gotta stay humble a little bit. Okay, you can't forget the people that you can't forget where you came from. Get the people that brought you there. Isn't that right?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Well, yeah. Nexus mods, they pulled a Sony. They got a little too they got a little too arrogant, knowing the fact that they were the biggest modding site on the internet, and now other sites are coming up, and now they come to the realization that they're going to have some competition, and yeah, they're going to have to change their tune real quick.
Yeah.
But as somebody who does use Nexus mods, I will happily tell you guys, I will happily tell anyone watching right now, use it or don't, it's up to you. If you don't use Nexus mods, I will happily tell you, you are 1000% completely justified. You have every right. Like I said, it's because of Cyberpunk that I still use Nexus mods. It's because of Cyberpunk. Those Zenless mods that you see, that's from Game Banana. That's a site called Game Banana. The Need for Speed mods that I use, that is straight from the Unite Discord itself, or nfsmods.xyz. So Nexus is just only one outlet. And and the reason is just like Nintendo, just like what we see everything else, it's the most convenient. It's the biggest game in town because it's the most convenient. It's easier to get to, easier for modders to upload, easier for people to upload their stuff, and it's the biggest modding, one of the biggest modding communities there. Now, I did use that for Street Fighter 6 and Street Fighter 5, but for a specific modder that I always appreciate named Brutal Ace, I grabbed his mods directly from his Fanbox, his Pixif Fanbox account, which is basically a Patreon. I do use Vortex, which is a Nexus platform mod, and that's a good mod managing tool that is able to directly download mods straight to that managing tool, and able to manage my mods easily versus me having to like manually install one after another. It's that convenience. So on that note, yes, you definitely can call me a hypocrite on that one. Because I still use Cyberpunk, because I'm playing Cyberpunk and I use this mods on Nexus. So with that being said, when Nexus mods reverted their decision and the body type A and body type B replacer mods started swarming the main page on Elder Scrolls Oblivion remaster,
Mm-hmm.
Can you guess what happens next?
What's that?
No, you're gonna fill in the blank. This ain't gonna be multiple choice. You're gonna fill in the blank. Take a wild guess. What happens next?
Pinky and the Brain show up and plot how to take over the world.
Can we get a?
You love me.
Can we get a response? Can we get a response?
Hey, right.
No, that's not. No. Sorry, no.
You stupid.
No.
You stupid.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to find. I don't have a band. I don't have like a no. That's no. Sorry, but you're wrong. No. It causes a meltdown. And I have a little article just for you. I have a little article just for us, and we're going to. I am rubbing my hands together. I am very excited to share this, Margaret. Okay, you can't tell me the amount of joy that I have on my face right now, because what we have from Andy Chalk over at PC Gamer, what you're about to listen to is the textbook example of what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, that's right.
You are coping and seething. You just can't accept what you're seeing. Yes, you're coping and seething. The truth it is scalding, and now you are molding and coping so hard. Coping and seething.
By the way, Riot, did you see my reply? Did you see my comment on the Discord? Off topic. I pulled for Jane Doe, end up getting Khalida. I really dislike this 50-50 shit they got with when it comes to banners. Yeah, it was a 50-50. It's not like any other game. It's not like pretty much most other gacha games where you if you're pulling for where the pity where it's a soft pity. It's a 50-50 soft pity, then you have to do it like 10 times again to get a freaking hard pity to get the guaranteed character you're looking for. So, yeah. I'm going to have to pull I'm going to pull like 80 more times just so I can get the character I wanted. So I really don't like that 50-50 shit. Just saying. Anyway. Anyway. So, PC Gamer, this is a textbook example of coping, okay? Because we're going to get into this. Yeah. We are going to get into this. Anyway. This is by Andy Chalk here. Nexus mods decide to allow an Oblivion remaster mod that changes the quote-unquote body type options to male and female, declares it's not a battleground for broader or cultural debates. For cultural or political debates. Can we press X to doubt on this one? Can we give X to doubt, please? The mod was deleted multiple times before Nexus mods threw in the towel. Okay, so Marber, what you're going to be listening to, chat, what you're going to be listening to is an example of double speak, okay? This is going to be the example of talking on both sides of you, talking out your mouth and talking out your ass. This is going to be what we're going to go through. This article is going to be basically going to be talking out not only out your mouth but talking straight out your ass. Double speak at its finest. Okay, so one of the very small changes in Oblivion Remastered is a switch from character creator from male and female bodies, as it was in the original, to body type 1 and body type 2. It was the sort of thing that likely go entirely unnoticed if it weren't for the distressingly predictable explosion of outrage from using the corners of toxic gamerdom, and in short order, the creation of a mod that brought back the original male and female body options. So we have gaslighting, Okay, so this is a gaslighting here. You explodes from the outrage of usual corners of toxic gamerdom in short order to create toxic gamerdom. Okay. So over a small, very very small changes. Okay, let me sum it up here. Okay, let me ask you a question here. Let me ask you here a question, Mom Bear.
What's up?
So it's small, right? It's just very small and minuscule, as they say, right?
Well, depends on the beholder.
Here's my question.
Mm-hmm.
If it's small and it's not a big deal, why change it then? I'm waiting. I'll wait. I can wait. Why change it? If it's not it's not a big deal, right? Okay. Then we can so we can keep it as it is then, right?
Should.
Okay. I mean, it's not a big deal, right? It's a small change, right?
Right.
Oh, I see what it is. Oh, chat. If you haven't caught up to what's going on right now, yeah, this is an example of doublespeak. Okay. So, anyway, for a few days, Nexus Mod made a point of removing a mod called Body Type Selector, whether it was upload or re-upload, because of course these guys can't take no for an answer. But now Nexus Mods has changed, allowed the mod to take a stand. You could tell he is coping. You could tell he is coping in this article. Okay, you can tell it because it's not a big deal. Except when it is to them. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. You could argue I'm painting with a broad brush. No. Nexus, we all know what side of the aisle Nexus aligns with, and even their own side is roasting them, is lambasting them for it. Okay. So you know darn well this kind of mentality, this mindset, this kind of gaslight doublespeak is clearly coming from someone who made it a big deal to have body type A and to keep body type A and body type B in there, because you know what this is? Power. This is a loss of power. This is a loss of control. Speaking of which, I got to give a shout out to one specific person. Dreamy Tabitha. Hello, sweetheart. Hope you were doing well, guys. If you're not subscribed to Dreamy Tabitha Live, please do so. She is a wonderful artist, wonderful content creator. We got to do an art stream together again. We got to. Tabitha, we know who you are, okay? You don't need to answer. You don't need to phone, okay? So, I hope you're doing well. Now, so the reason, according to, so Nexus Mod has changed course and allowed the mod to stand. Okay, then. So, I mean, that should be the end of this article, then, right?
Well, you'd think.
I mean, that should be. I mean, we should be done then, right?
Right.
But no, we're not done. No. The reason, according to a community notice on the mod page, is that the mod itself doesn't violate any policies that the previous mods were taken down because of their content, but because of the uploader's behavior. Do you have an example of the uploader's behavior? Probably no.
Mm-hmm.
Probably no. No, crickets, no.
Oh.
No. The account of the original upload was banned, but the mod, a functionally identical one, was resubmitted, has now been allowed to stand. Okay. To clarify, here's the quote. To clarify, the mod was taken down because of its content, as noticed. As stated in the ban notice, it was removed to the uploader's behavior. In the comments, uploader expressed an intent to incite drama and endorse an external site designed and host inflammatory. Oh, I see. So this goes back to the whole DNG mods, basically. This goes back to the whole thing with DNG mods because, when Nexus Mods decides to ban it, another mod site comes in and is like, "Hey, we could have it on our platform." See what I'm saying earlier?
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying earlier? This is fear of competition, basically. Nexus Mods. So this is a flimsy excuse, basically. This is a flimsy excuse. This is a pathetic, flimsy excuse, in that you want to be the only game in town. You want other anyone to conform to, your modding standards, modding specialities. I don't know what the hell I'm saying right now. Anyway,
you'll get it eventually.
But you want the internet to adhere to your demands. But when another site comes in and allows a mod that you don't like on their platform, you make up this stupid excuse. This kind of behavior that violates our community standards. You have community standards? Oh, that's funny. I'm sorry, that's funny. Nexus Mods has a community standards. That's adorable. You have a history of banning mods such as we can't race swap the Middle Eastern character in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. We can't have that. But you will happily put out a mod that race swaps Geralt in Witcher 3 to black. You will happily you will come out and say, you will ban a mod that gives Captain America and Marvel Rivals to look like, to resemble the current president of the United States, the Orange Man. But then you, in that same token, say, but we're apolitical. We can't. We want to. We also banned Joe Biden mods too, which turns out that was more not the case. Yeah. So, please tell us that this is. Please tell us that you have community standards. Your community standards are basically, if we don't like it, it doesn't conform to our political beliefs, it's being banned.
Jesus.
That's your community standards.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I'm sorry, I hate to bring politics in here, but no, that's what this blatantly is. We recognize that mods like this can bring us sensitive discussions around gender and identity to the forefront. Oh, fuck off. While these important conversations, our platform to support creative, expressive, and modding, not to serve as a battleground for broader or cultural political debates. Hold on a second. Let me add something here. Now, do you guys remember the rant on pronouns from a certain bald-headed YouTuber that went viral about the Bethesda game Starfield?
Probably.
Well, here's the thing. So somebody made a mod that got rid of those said pronouns in Starfield, and Nexus Mods banned it. So we can't have it. Okay. Community standards, right. It's important to support creative expression and modding, but you won't allow a mod that gets rid of pronouns in Starfield, right? You won't. No. Here it gets better. You won't allow a mod that gets rid of the sensitivity warnings in a Tomb Raider collection. I am dead serious. When you look at the Tomb Raider trilogy remastered has a sensitivity warning, basically stating the content here doesn't align with our values, but understand that it's a product of our time. So proceed with caution. It's like when Disney puts those sensitivity warnings at the beginning of their films, like Gone with the Wind. You know what I mean? Just like that.
Oh yeah.
So there was a mod to get rid of it where you can skip past that scene, but Nexus Mods decided to ban it. This is what I call talking out of your mouth and talking out your ass. I usually say talk on both sides of your mouth, but no, this is literally talking out your mouth and talking straight out your ass.
Yeah, straight up like Jim Carrey did in Pet Detective.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. The best part is we believe nothing coming out your mouth, and we believe nothing coming out your ass either.
Yep. Stand outside on a windy day and they get a refill.
Mm-hmm. While we do not tolerate it, what we do not tolerate is trolling, harassment, discrimination, or any other form of toxicity that these discussions may provoke.
Well, that leaves me out.
Oh my god.
Yo, shout out to Caesar, man. Shout out to Caesar, man. Yo, I'm
You know what? I might have my account banned on Nexus Monster calling them out, but I don't care. I don't give a damn. You're full of shit. You're so full of shit. You're so full of shit. And they tried to put a community mode on this one. They're trying to put a community mode. Here's what you should have done, Nexus. Allowed the mod to go up but just lock the discussions. Allow it to go up and lock the discussions.
Mm-hmm.
Clear as day. Just like it's like the whole thing that we were talking about last week with the with Marathon, Bungie's newest title, not having proximity chat.
Yeah.
Because they want to eliminate toxicity, and that there's no real sensible solution to that. I'm sorry. You have a free-to-play multiplayer. It's not a free-to-play. It's a premium AAA extraction shooter.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have proximity chat in your multiplayer extraction shooter. Toxic or not, you can't you can't eliminate toxicity, okay?
Yep.
So the sensible thing that you should have done, Nexus, is allow the mod to go up, because clearly you banned the mod and it only shows how much of a blatant double standard it is on your site.
Mm-hmm.
You should have allowed the mod to go up and locked the comment threads. Just lock the comment threads. But no, you had to do this whole dog and pony show, and when you got pushback, you had to revert that decision. Because this is all from pushback. They got ripped to shreds over this. So let's cut to the chase. It's a flimsy excuse for a crappy decision. We kind of agree on that one. Saying that the problem isn't the mod, but the intention of the author are particularly ludicrous, because the mod is literally the primary expression of that intent.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, I actually agree with you, huh? Well, at least we agree on something. The ban of the author's account cites Nexus mod policy against files that remove gender and identity, including pronouns, from a game that have been intentionally put in place by a game developer, when removal is clearly to be divisive or cause hostility within the community or marginalize specific groups. Emphasis mod.
Yeah.
Sorry. But that itself is absurd. Why else would you remove pronouns or indicator of gender identity except as an anti-trans statement? How is it an anti-trans statement to put male and female in the freaking chat?
Yeah,
in the freaking character creator. How is it an anti-trans statement?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't one of the controversies like a couple years ago that trans women want to be called women?
Yeah, didn't the UK Parliament, didn't the UK Parliament have something about that lately, and it caused another meltdown? Isn't that why people are against JK? Isn't why people are still rallying over JK Rowling now?
Oh, they're gonna be doing that till the end.
I'm sorry. Okay, you know what? You know what? I said body type A, body type B is not allowed here. So let me explain. So so I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you the author of this, and I'm going to ask anybody who's watching who's going to have a fit over this. So, just heads up, guys. I do just heads up warning. Just heads up. Understand. I do not care. Okay, I'm going to say it, and you can get mad at me all you want.
If they want to make it inclusive, and I can respect that. You know, I do have family that fall into some of the categories. Just put it as male presenting, female presenting,
or just say male, female, or
and
just
give
both.
a third option.
Just have both. Just have both.
Yeah.
Let's have both. You want to appease both sides? Just have both.
And hell, give a third option.
Yeah, let's have both.
Yeah.
You want to put body type A or body type B, male, female? It's just a label. That's all it is, right?
Probably.
It's just a label. It's not a big deal, right? But why change it? Okay, why change it then? Okay, so we can have it. So we can have it originally as male and female, then, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
just
so we
the
can.
body type A, body type B. That just doesn't make any sense.
Okay, let me. Okay, to Andy Chalk, I'm gonna ask anybody else who is gonna probably hit that dislike button. I'm just gonna ask one little question here. Okay, explain me. Okay, now name one person. Do you have any person you know, any single person you know that is in a part of this marginalized group here that identifies themselves in real life as body type A or body type B? I'm waiting. No.
I haven't heard it.
I am asking you the question. Do you know anyone in real life that identifies themselves as body type A or body type B?
I admit I haven't checked in on my various people in a while.
Let's be realistic here, okay? Even the people you were so desperate to pander to do not address themselves as body type A or body type B.
Yeah.
So who are you trying to protect here?
And like I said,
no. Go ahead.
Like I said, you could have a male presenting, female presenting, but the fact that they didn't include a third option for those who identify as non-binary. That's the part, that I'm,
You want to put that option in there. You want to put that option in there. You know what? Fine. That's fine. Okay. You want to put that in there. Okay. Whatever. Maybe people may be out. People may have a problem with that, but whatever. Whatever. It's something's not a big deal because you can keep male and female. You can have male, female, or non-binary or unidentified. Just do it simply like that. You want to do it that way? Boom. Nobody's gonna have a problem. I guarantee you, not many people are gonna have a real problem with that. But the fact that you would put, but how about this? But here's what they do is, you want to put body type 1, body type 2, unidentified, non-binary, whatever, but erase male and female, because all this is showing is that Nexus mods, the people who are the people, the moderators, they hate the term male and female.
No,
they hate it.
You know what it tells me?
Go ahead.
This tells me that they are attempting to, I don't want to say pander, I'm looking for a better word off.
Change dialogue. They're attempting to enforce dialogue.
No, not really.
They're attempting to enforce that kind of speak.
They're attempting to appeal to this audience without actually listening to that audience. Because if they did, they would have the third option.
Yeah. And you wouldn't need to eliminate male or female.
Yeah.
In the process. And also, you're putting this on a 20-year-old game. Mm-hmm. When you know damn well that there are some things within the game that will not function properly if you use body type A or body type B.
Yeah. And
when characters address you as male or female, even in Cyberpunk, they do this in Cyberpunk, but the thing that they will also, but the thing they also put, they put an immediate, when you make your character creator in Cyberpunk, they do the same thing there. But the thing that's fine there, because they put a notification that if you select body type 1, the NPCs are going to address you as he. If you select body type 2, they're going to address you as she.
And again,
I'm like, you should just put male and female, but okay, that's a workaround. They at least they have some. It's changing language,
but they're not doing a good job at it.
No, they're not.
Because again, if they really wanted to do a good job at it, give the third option.
Yes. I can't believe I'm saying this. I can't believe we have to bring this up again. But
I think right here, I completely agree with this. The only body type 1 and 2, or A and B, should be in the character creator after you pick your gender or non-gender. I am paraphrasing, right? I am sorry. Like stocky gent, muscular jaw,
yes.
Or thin girl, curvy girl.
So let's go back here. So let's go back to the question one more time. It's not, because people are saying it's not a big deal. This is a small, minuscule thing. Okay, why change it?
Yeah.
Explain to me why change it. If it's such a small big,
because
if it's not a big deal, why change it?
Because it is a big topic of conversation, especially
it's a big deal to them.
Yeah, it is.
It is a big deal to them.
You know what? I understand why it's a big deal to those people that are affected. Those people that would identify this way.
Okay.
I do understand that. They are trying to identify, find their own place in this world and how they feel comfortable in their skin. Yeah, feminine, masculine, androgynous. Perfect, Emerald. I love it. Something as simple as that. Do a
just put feminine, masculine.
He, him.
Simple.
She, her, and they, them. Simple.
You want to put that in there is fine, but the problem is that you clearly, from an ideological standpoint, you have a problem with people putting the original labels back in there.
Yeah.
That's what this is. Nexus Mods, Andy Chalk at PC Gamer. You have a problem with addressing stuff as traditionally male or female. Okay? Nobody in real life, and guess what? Yeah, a lot of people, we have lives. Nobody in their real life addresses themselves as body type 1 or body type 2.
I have never heard anybody identify themselves as body type A or body type B.
So you are appealing to no one. You are literally trying to appeal to no one. I'm sorry.
In fact, I would actually love it if somebody found a bathroom in like a restaurant or whatever where they said body type A, body type B. If somebody finds that, please post it on the Discord, whatever.
Prove me wrong.
Tag us. I'd love to see that.
I have not heard one, and I've heard of and this has been an ongoing thing. This whole body type A, body type B shit has been an ongoing thing.
This is the first I've heard of it, to be honest.
No, this has been an ongoing thing because I brought up that in the remake of Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake, I brought up that they had to switch to body type A and body type B, and you know what happened? The creator, one of the co-creator of Dragon Quest, said the quiet part out loud. Said that he did not like that they had to change his game to change it to body type A and body type B, and Square Enix silenced him on it.
And you know what? If anybody has a right to say that, it's the creator of the game.
And changing Toriyama's artwork, yeah, that was another sin in of itself. You would change Akira Toriyama's work as well. By the way, Toriyama was the co-creator of Dragon Quest. This has been a thing going on. No person identifies themselves as a body type A or body type B.
Yeah.
You were changed. This is what we're seeing is not only is that Nexus Mods is having Nexus Mods cannot handle, it clearly cannot handle saying the word male or female, but clearly this is power. This is power stripped of them. You are making it a big deal because you could have just let the mod be up there. People will have their discussions whatsoever, lock the thread, move on. If it's not a big deal, then let it go up there then. Then just lock the thread. If you want to ban the modder and keep the mod up, but no, you had to go all the way out here, and considering your history, and we know where you stand ideologically and politically, where you stand, yes, you're going to get called out on it. So, Nexus Mods, I don't know what to tell you. You have stepped in it many times, and people have had a problem with that. So you know damn right that there are going to be other modding sites trying to take the crown from you, to give you and to be that alternative, to be your competition. Oh my god. So everybody who's saying screw Nexus Mods, boycott Nexus Mods, whatever, you are completely justified. You are completely justified with that. Use other modding platforms. Because you don't want to put up with that, then use other modding platforms. You are completely justified your responses. Like I said, for me, I still use it because of Cyberpunk. That is the only from this point onward. Any other games I'm gonna try to find. If I end up getting Expedition 33, especially on PC, I'm going to try to find somewhere else other than Nexus Mods. When I get Stellar Blade on PC, Nexus Mods is going to be a last resort. If I cannot find another suitable modding platform that offers the same level of quality mods for Stellar Blade, then Nexus Mods will be a last resort. But it will not be my first choice moving forward. So, and the thing is that more and more, you're switching to more and more, you're seeing that push for PC release, because, like it or not, these freaking modders are some of the most dedicated fans out there.
They are.
And I feel personally that modders need to be treated with much more respect. I'm dead serious when I say that. I do feel that modders need to be treated with much more respect and not be outcast away, not be kind of like outcast where they are, because they are as dedicated of a fan base as you and me. Hey, they do this because they love the game, they love the craft, they love what they do, and they love the content, and they want to explore, they want to enhance, they want the game to be as best as they can. And modders don't take, and for what I've seen, modders are their own thing. They're their own independent. They have their own mindsets, mentalities. They have their own ideology. They have their own activists. They have their own beliefs. They're not gonna adhere to this, that, or the third. So with this whole thing with Nexus Mods, and I report to any modder out there, you want to use Nexus Mods, it's totally fine. Understand that gives you that access to Steam Workshop and such like that. But just understand that there are other modding sites out there, and understand that at some point, Nexus Mods will realize that they will not be the only game in town any longer.
Yeah.
That other modding sites will come up and try to steal that crown from them, because they're going to offer an alternative. Hey, Nexus Mods ban this. Hey, you can find this mod over here Find this mod over here, over there. They want to be the Nexus mods. Basically, they want to be like Google is right now. You know, with Google, with the way Google, which you've heard the stories. You heard the news of like the way Google throttles traffic to other sites and such like that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what it seems to be. It's like they want to throttle traffic only to Nexus mods, no other modding site. Minimize your use of there, basically. If you still have to use it, minimize it then. Whew. That was I think I need a drink for that one. That was heavy. That was I think I brought me out on that one. That was it's just,
there you
it's
go.
just
Maki spent. Good night, everybody.
No, we're not done. No, we're not done. We still got topics to go through. We're handling. You know what the best part is? You know what this is? Because like my freaking keyboard's not working, so we're trying to do a workaround, guys. You're gonna just have to bear with us. At least you have something pleasant to look at. All these topics up again. I am so sorry. I do not know why this is going on, but let's take a moment. And let's read the chat because I know people are being caught.
I could not keep up with the chat. And...
We got some dedicated people here. People who are dedicated to what we're talking about and such like that. So I appreciate it, guys. Smack that like button, making sure go. Oh, that stuff. We appreciate that. So let's start from. Let's start with Riot. We'll start from Riot. I replaced Honkai Star Rail, replaced with Infinity Nikki, run supplies with while on mobile just to draw distance. This sucks. Well. Isn't that interesting? We have a new if we have continue, read out the rest of the chat while I could try to get my freaking keyboard fixed. Again, I'm sorry, I don't know what this is.
Let me find the comment that you were on. Okay.
This is a Razer keyboard, by the way. This is like a Razer keyboard. Just want to give you all a heads up.
They became a battlefield for politics when they were banning mods of Flags and Spider-Man and various other mods.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I completely forgot about that. Thank you for bringing that up, Power.
Yeah. If it's not a big deal, why ban it and change it in the first place, right? Riot says like Endymion thing. Thank you. If it doesn't mean anything, why change it to begin with? Yeah, we've got a couple of those.
They can never. And the best part about that mob bear is they can never answer that question. If it's not a big deal, why change it? They can never answer that. They can never give a logical answer.
No, they can't.
An actual sensible answer to that simple question. If it's not a big deal, why then we can have it up there.
Okay, and Tabitha says yes, we do, and wants the chat to bully you into coming to her art party.
I got to find the time. I work during the day, Mama Bear. I mean, Tabitha.
Hey, we all look the same to him. It's okay. Keep on. I'm just teasing him. I keep on saying this, but I'm against the whole let modders fix it mentality. I don't want to give these devs an out for their BS.
And that's a good thing to
fix an overall issue. Yeah.
And Emerald makes a good point. And Emerald makes an excellent point. And it's that modders shouldn't be doing so much of the heavy lifting when it comes to like games and such, because a lot of the modders, they do this out of just sheer passion, legitimate passion for this. So, but we shouldn't have this mindset of having a broken game on launch and let the modders fix it. It's like no, a game should be sound, ready to go. Little to no bugs on launch. They're just only relying on just the modders to fix it. Is only showing the incompetence of the developers. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So yeah, I agree, Emerald. I love modders to death. It's just but I do agree that they should not they shouldn't be like immediately just go straight to them to rely heavily on them to try to fix their game. You know, your game should be, sound, like ready to go out of the box. It's like a car. It's like, it should have the engine, everything. It shouldn't be, when you buy a new car, it should be,
painted,
fresh out of the fresh. It should be fresh, and I mean a brand new car, like a brand new car. It's just like it should be ready to go right when you get the keys and turn on the ignition.
Yep.
It's a huge issue.
No, go on.
Most GTA mods on their own sec, yeah, because that goes into a whole other thing. You have Xbox, you have Microsoft, you have Bethesda with the whole Creation Club, where there are paid mods and able to make those mods available on console ports and such like that. But then on the other end of the spectrum, you have the likes of Nintendo and Rockstar, who will go out of their way to not only just ban mods, but to try and shut down projects legally through legal means. Like what we saw with 5M, and stuff. And despite that those those 5M servers blew up. They actually boosted the popularity of GTA more because those were like role-playing servers, basically, for Grand Theft Auto playing. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to skip over some of these because there's a lot.
Yeah, I know. I'm still trying to figure out my freaking keyboard situation.
Have you checked your settings?
I'm trying to because it kept saying that the USB malfunctioned.
Yeah. Not a baggie for you. So we can't express that we want the original opinions for Oblivion to make a 1v1 remaster. Yeah, Maki has a pet Jojobo. Translation: anything that disagrees with the politics is hate speech and trolling to the, and honestly, that's one of the two words that I would love if it just disappeared at this point in time. Woke and copium. I would love. I'm tired of hearing them. We can't replace that god-awfully designed rainbow flag with American flags, but we can replace American flags with shabby designed rainbow flag. I see. I'm not going to agree with you on the American flag thing because Canadian. So. It's a really silly double standard because it's not like the mods affect them directly. Yeah, I highlighted that one earlier. They aren't being... No, they're not. They're not being truly inclusive. Yeah, no one identifies as body type A or B. Not that I've heard. I mean, if there is, I would love to be corrected. Also heard they aren't consistent as well. They switched the body types for this game. else? Cyberpunk has feminine and masculine V's for voice. Just use that. Yeah, feminine, masculine, androgynous. Yeah, I know we covered that, but still, it needs to be re-highlighted. Yeah, problem solved. Simple. Create multiple options. Yes. And they changed Toriyama's artwork with the female creator right after he passed away, which is sad. Yeah. And Emerald says this will create a bigger wedge between creators from the West and everywhere else. And honestly, I think you hit the nail on the head there, because there is already a wedge between the two. And yet this will create a bigger divide, because let's face it, the West is or the East is killing it when it comes to games. Their designs are just absolutely stellar, and they don't have that uncanny valley wax figure thing going on. If they do it, we shouldn't be stuck to one platform anyway. Mod site for the Dragon Ball Xenoverse. I didn't even know there was a Dragon Ball game. So I will come back to that when he comes back. Eventually. I want to make my own website for games and a mod manager. How would you go about doing that? That would be awesome. Yeah. Minimize your use of them. Honestly, people should keep reporting on Nexus bans and advertise the alternatives that has it. Honestly. I don't think it's a sticky keyboard. It's just being a grumpy keyboard. And sometimes, adding in a new device that it just takes a bit to figure out. Like anytime I wind up having to reboot my computer, it takes me a bit to get my computer to recognize my snowball mic. Excuse me. The cat is trying to be spicy. Okay. Yeah, go for it. I have a huge issue on that mindset. I wanted to make a video on that topic. Yes, absolutely. Go for it. Isaac, stop it. Hey. Look at the dog. Look at the dog. Go get the dog. Hopefully you can hear me now. Give me a thumbs up if you can. I got him to stop bugging the cat. Let me see. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Yes, I threw something. And hey, Grumpy, how you doing, honey? Like how games used to be. No bugs, patches, or updates at launch. Just ready to play. Yep. Wouldn't that be nice? We shouldn't, Emerald Taurus, we shouldn't pay to be part-time developer. If I had to fix a game where I'm basically an unpaid developer, I should just make my own game at that point. Could you picture that in any other industry? Yeah, gonna buy a house, but you have to, finish building it. No. I'm going to give you this car, but, you need to install the engine. Or the brake pads.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, I'm in a pickle right now.
Really?
Because I can use my mouse. I can use my mouse. I can use microphone, but can't get my keyboard to work. And I can switch out, but that means one has to sacrifice.
Maybe it's a problem with the keyboard itself.
Some reason it's wired and it's not wireless. But when I try it, because I use a USB hub, that's why it malfunctions, or it's like drawing too much power or something like that. I don't know.
Not a clue. I would probably reach out to Razer and explain the issues that you're having.
It wasn't like that last night when I was streaming with Snowdub, though. That's the weird part. It was not like that with Snowdub. It's just for some weird reason here, I don't know what it is. Like, I can't use the keyboard even though it's connected. But if I connect one thing to the USB hub, it's fine. One thing to the USB hub, it's fine. Like my headphones is connected to the main port, and for some reason my mouse can work fine using a USB hub, but I can't use the keyboard despite the fact that I have 2 ports and I'm using a USB hub basically.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Okay, it's so weird. Are we at the
I'm
are we near
close
the
to
bottom?
catching up.
Okay, keep catching up. I'm gonna keep working on this. Sorry about this, guys.
It's okay. Grumpy says, woke and cope are obnoxious things that need to go away. And when they go away, no one will have them to call them out. I look forward to the day, because seriously, I'm getting tired of hearing the word copium, and woke is not only overused, but it's misused. And I'm not sure which part irritates me more about that,
And for any failed Grammarlinos, misuse means used wrongly.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure the chat understands the word misused. Emerald Taurus, at a certain point, why pay for software when you have to fix a game when you can basically pay a game engine to make your own game? Left you a little present on the tutorial channel of the CSF Nation Discord. Thank y'all. We'll check it out in a bit. Grumpy says if mods are being banned, they need to make a place where they can't get banned to keep seeing to keep said banned mods. Grumpy says 100 again. Emerald Taurus tech is way more available now than ever, so you can make your own if you have the drive. Obviously responding to my house thing. They're fixer-uppers, but that's a niche thing. If you had to advertise, it's a fixer-upper. Otherwise, it's a lost lead. But yeah, could you picture that being the norm? Like, I'm going to spend like close to $1 million on a house, and you get it and it's not finished. And it's considered normal that, I mean, setting aside painting, because a lot of people just like to repaint anyway, but was there an update? Maybe. Grumpy says I still play games that are already at launch, and I did well until I went full drawing trainee. No video game should have internet dependence. I was done when Capcom was able to overwrite my SF on PS4. Okium. Yeah, that's another one that needs to go. Hey, Sean. And we got Spring Heel Mac in the house. Your hub might need external saying your hub might need external power. And I know you can hear me. Need to restart. I'm guessing your mic's not working anymore. Go do what you need to. I can always, once I figure out where my phone disappeared to, could pull up some, poetry or whatever. I don't know who Piper and Ray are, but apparently they broke your keyboard. Yeah, I agree. Too many people use both words without knowledge of what they actually mean. Woke is still bad and it's still around. Copium is still happening. Problem is people misuse them on purpose. Like, copium's not even an actual word. That's the thing, It's just they use that when, they disagree with somebody's take on something. And I see it so much. Never really thought about making my own game. Maybe when I get to a higher quality art, I can draw a visual novel. It would be good to go. Right? Yeah. Apparently, today is the Mama Bear show.
Okay, we good now.
You sure?
Yeah, I just restarted. my PC. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Eli's
connected.
back too.
Let's check.
Yeah. Oh, I remember the opposite being true.
Yep. Everything's,
Bless you, whoever sneezed that.
Able to type. You can hear me type. So the typing's working.
May have been the kiddo.
It's not a boomer
You
moment,
sneezed?
so shut up. Sorry. Say it again. Sorry.
Reboot. He needs a reboot stat. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's not a boomer moment, so shut up. I'm just gonna do something real quick. What's my Chromia? Where's my Chromia?
Okay, Sean has a question for you.
Yes.
Did the 46-year-old man lose mic connection?
Sorry, I'm just quiet right now, so I'm so shut the fuck up.
Yes. Power is saying copium is a slang term that young people were using till it got hijacked. Here we go again. Man, you aged in minutes. Apparently, your 60-year-old man is back.
Fuck off, Sean. Anyway.
Memes saying everything is woke is starting to sound like everything is racist. I was running around. Maki will even vouch for this. I was running around for a while there, doing the Lego theme song, going, everything is racist. Because for a while there, everything was racist.
Every time it's 7 8 officers, increased about 10 years. Sean, you just fucking with me at this point. Okay, old man.
Copium is rabble for cope, and definitely not a real word. Neither was
I don't
woke.
use copium a lot. It's just I can
90s,
see the sign. Okay, I don't use copium a lot, but I can tell when something is coping. I can tell by the way that, for example, that article is coping. Like, it's blatant coping. You can tell by it. Like, it's one some ways people can say they can determine by what is, they can see the signs of like, okay, what is identity politics driven, what is woke and such like that. They can tell. People can tell that. So I don't use it. Like I said, I don't use woke, and you live ask me all the time. I don't say the word woke, but that doesn't mean I can't tell what has identity politics driven mindset. That doesn't mean I can't tell what is clearly identity or politically or driven by activists.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to break it down instead of just using it as a catch-all.
Well, that's the thing. It is a very popular Gen Z term, and I hear it a lot when I'm in Skywalker's chat or anything having to do with the Snyderverse, because it's like yeah, the copium is real.
Like I said, the way I see it is that I prefer to break down exactly what I see, what my problem is, and if it gets classified as woke, it's fine. I'm not going to label entirely as woke. I just prefer to break it down exactly. Now, there is only a select, and I mean a select few things where I will use that term. For example, Dustborn. Dustborn. I sat through 5 hours of it. We broke this thing. We broke down the exact problems with it, and I have no problem saying that Dustborn is woke. It is woke as fuck.
I will disagree.
I feel like that's proper. I feel like that's okay to use that terminology because it genuinely is, and it's like it's probably the best way to describe it.
See, I will disagree with you because it inspired like kind of the opposite of woke for me. I really wanted to just like fall asleep.
But when you break shit down, and it was like you're breaking mindsets down, you're breaking attitudes down and shit like that, and my problems with that. But yes, it is heavily political identity politics, heavily identity politics, heavily activist driven, heavily driven by that kind of mindset.
And Sean says every time you say F off, he's increasing your age by 10 years. Emerald says copium is a fusion of cope and
moving
opium.
on.
Yes.
It's gaming excrement. Oh yeah. It just excretes out of the body, basically. It just steals your soul from you. Anyway,
cringe words. YN Riz.
I never use Riz.
Your name, Charisma.
That is very
I know what
like
YN means.
Riz is like Gen Z. Riz is like very much Gen Z or.
Oh yeah, I've got an alpha here, so I hear Riz all the
Ask
time.
somebody what is Riz. I was like, you just gonna Riz the fuck.
It means cool.
Go away.
As in charisma. It's short for charisma, basically. Charismatic. Riz.
Well, because the word that started in the Black community that meant to be aware of the environment or to be socially conscious. Stay woke basically means take care and stay safe. It was hijacked.
Yes,
by political ideologues. Yes. That is the proper term use for it.
Riz is the last piece of
not oh no. This movie has a female lead. It's woke.
Oh no! This movie has live action characters instead of animated Minecraft. I'm not saying that word.
It's just like, listen, it has to be a specific term. It has to be something specifically for me to say is woke, just the way that there's just the way that there are specific people out there where it warrants me using the term British cigarettes, if you know what I mean. Because of the mindset, because of that behavior.
You mean like a bundle of sticks?
Yeah.
Yep.
I could think of plenty of people who describe that for me personally. basically the three bumbling idiots at Phantom Pulse. Anyway,
woke equals awake to what's around you, not asleep to actual racism.
Racism? What?
Yeah, racism.
Racist?
Racism.
How are you racist towards charisma? What the fuck?
No, grumpy.
Racist.
Yeah.
Awake to
what's around you and not asleep to actual racism.
By that definition, there was a lot of stuff out there that is anti-charisma, has any form of charisma, any has a severe lack of charisma, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Lack of charisma. Okay, let's get into the next topic. Okay,
Let's get into the next topic.
Let's get back, and this is actually going to lead into what we're talking about. Oblivion actually leads into the next topic, and what I'm going to do is I am going to turn this segment into a video.
Okay.
I'm going to turn this segment into a video, and I will not have. I'll see if I can get some. I'll see if I can get some stuff on the screen to kind of share with you guys what I am talking about. And what I'll do is I'll try to keep this under 30 minutes. I'll try to keep this as a 30-minute video or so like that. But this is talking about Oblivion, and the other title that came out in the same week as the Oblivion remaster that is doing incredibly well, and that is, of course, Claire Obscure Expedition 33. So I am going to, and before we do that, I'm going to take a look. Let's look at the Steam charts for Expedition 33, because it is glowing, and I mean glowing reviews. First off, 90%. So people are saying this is game of the year. This is game of the year right here. 121 24-hour peak, 92,000 players right now. 121,000 is all-time peak.
Yep.
Jay the Concept has said so many praises. We've heard so many. Smash JT has praised this. So many people out there have praised this game, not just from critics, but from people that we follow on YouTube and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I was
loving the game.
I did mention friend Deuce Falco. He's been raving about the game. Tectones even said that this is Expedition 33 is the best turn-based RPG ever made, and it's like that's a huge endorsement. That's a very big endorsement. But remember, Expedition 33. This is a AA title. This is a AA made by a team of 30 people. Yep.
Just 30 people. When you have in relation to let's look at the Steam DB numbers. When you look at something like Ass Creed Shadows, which was made by a team of 3,000 people. 3,000 people, and it can't even. I want to look at this number. It couldn't even get. It can't even get past 65K players as all-time peak. But it want to gross, 2 million players, 3 million players. Meanwhile, Expedition 33. Expedition 33 grossed 1 million copies sold in 3 days. There's a difference between 1 million copies sold in 3 days versus 2 million players in a week later?
Roughly.
Like the sales, and they want to try to make up this whole thing with they want to try to excuse the sales figures, and it's like, how about we get some actual hard sales figures? And yes, Steam numbers do have to factor in. You can't use the whole Ubisoft being free on Ubisoft Plus as an excuse. You can't, the same way you can't use Xbox Game Pass as an excuse. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't bring it. I can't bring the whole thing. Let's look at Oblivion.
Yeah.
let's look at Oblivion. Oblivion Remastered. This is the Steam numbers for. I shared this earlier, but the Oblivion Remastered. This is as of 2 hours ago. 250, and it shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see that?
Yeah.
I said like 215 earlier in the show. I said 215, but it blew up to 216 now. So this is this new all-time peak as of 28 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
As of half an hour ago, it shot its all-time peak shot up to 216,000 players. Obscure 33, 121,000 as of 5 hours ago. That is all-time peak on Steam.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not even it's not even to include the not even including the game being available on Xbox Game Pass and all that Xbox Game Pass and PC and such like that. But also, here's another thing why Expedition 33 is doing well. You know what the price of the game is?
What's that?
$50.
Wow.
A AA title. It is a AA title that is priced at $50 on Steam. Let me check. Let me just check this again.
Double check that.
If you guys want to do a donation, you guys want to. I'm not trying to sound like DSP here, but if you guys really want $44.99, it's $49.99. That's his base price. It's just it's 10% off this weekend. Expedition 33 is 10% off, $44.99, so $45 on Steam. It is blown up. You want to get the deluxe editions, $54. So it's already got a 10% discount for this weekend only. Now, let's look at Oblivion. Oblivion Remastered is only $50. It's only $50. If you want the deluxe edition, it's only $60. When you have companies like Nintendo selling their prices, selling their games for the upcoming Switch 2, likely upwards of $80 to $90. When you have current titles now selling upwards of $70, and this looming fear that GTA 6, the next biggest game to come out this year, is going to be GTA 6, that is going to be $100. Having Xbox sell their a remaster of a 20-year-old game at just $50, and having a AA title sell just $50 with 30 hours of solid gameplay on top of the included side missions and content, with a deeply engrossing world, believable characters, and lovely visual and art direction.
Gorgeous visual and art direction.
This is a wake. I think games like Expedition 33 are going to be is it going to be a potential wake-up call? That's the question. Is Sandfall's AA produced title going to be a legitimate wake-up call for the industry? You can see what you will. Like, graphically, it looks great, but the art style is eye-popping. Here. And it's such a loving callback to the days of early Final Fantasy, the early RPG, the old turn-based RPG.
I've actually heard that. I've heard it compared to Final Fantasy a lot.
I think it was heard specifically compared to Final Fantasy IX, and that's big praise. So that's. And this is a French studio. French studio is doing this thing. So here's what we're going to do. So for about 30, 35 or so minutes, I'm going to record a segment from... I'm going to do a recording. And this is going to be from... it's just going to be me. So you guys are not going to hear anybody else, but just me. But what I'm going to do is I want to just go over just kind of a retro, just kind of a retrospective into this past weekend, basically, because having both Oblivion and Expedition 33 arrive on the same week, just days apart, and already turning heads within the industry.
Mm-hmm.
I think that might be. I think that we say a lot of stuff is a wake up call, but I do think that potentially this could be a wake up call. But the question would be, would the gaming industry actually wake up to that call, though? Would they be able to answer that, though?
You know what? And Sean,
considering the trajectory that the
actually
industry is in right now.
Good point to that.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Man, ain't no wake up call for the industry. We went through the success of Black Myth, Space Marine 2, and Stellar Blade, and devs still ain't learned.
Oh, I agree.
Did I do that right?
I agree.
And
you're not wrong. I totally
agree. You hit the play button or hit the record button.
Yes.
Hey,
Megatron. No, Sean, you're right. We always people in this chat know that this isn't going to be the wake up call, but I think that the success of these two games are something to take note. There's some things that there's some things that I think the industry can take note of. And there's a lot of things that even, similar titles, similar people, I think a lot of things that people can take note of regarding this industry and how you look at, Xbox is in free fall, but then you don't realize, and this is something that Legendary Drops pointed out, that Oblivion, this is a success. Oblivion being this successful and selling at just a $50 price tag is actually a W for Xbox and for Bethesda. So we're going to get into this, okay? So let's go ahead and turn. I'm going to go ahead. What I'm going to do is I'm going to.
I will
have some background footage. I'm going to have you guys. I'm going to have Mama Bear just clear comms for have Mama Bear just do a Mama Bear step away. She can keep the chat entertained while I do this recording. So before we do that, let me do a voice check, because I want to make sure that my audio is like clear and professional as possible. So let me check. And another thing is I want you guys to just bear with me on this one. I'm trying to be better at getting what I want, trying to articulate what I want to say and trying to get my thoughts out as clear as possible. So just try to bear with me on that one. Hopefully it comes out. Hopefully we try to improve the same way. Hopefully I try to improve much more better than I did with the marathon video. So just let me do a mic check. Okay. Testing.
Okay.
Testing.
Hold on.
Let's see.
Mock?
Yes.
Mock?
Yes.
There is something I need to take care of. So I will bid you adieu.
Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm gonna dip early.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Do you have anything you want to do you have anything you want to just do you have anything you want to promote or anything plug in just before you head
Absolutely. Mondays you can usually find me with the Kingdom of Nerds. Tuesdays you can find me on Sticks Boys channel, where we discuss Doctor Who. We watch an episode and do a watch along, and we wind up talking about it for a bit afterwards. Anywhere I wind up being, I drop it into my community tab. So if you are not following me, you will not find me.
There you go. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, honey.
Of course. Thank you so much for being here. Of course, say hi to Little Bear for us. Not just for me, but for us. Tell Little Bear we all said, everybody here in the chat said hi. And we hope everything's okay. Hopefully y'all and we look forward to seeing you back here again.
Oh, of course.
All right. Little Bear. Love you.
Okay.
Ladies and
gentlemen. Later on. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, can we give a round of applause for my lovely co-host, I'll bear art though. Bring it back. Thank you so much, Mom Bear.
Okay. Later.
All right, later. Ciao.
Ciao.
All right.
Who's that lets me?
Okay. So now you're stuck with me. Okay. You're stuck with me. All right. So it's just me. Unless anybody wants to hop on, hang out. You're stuck with me. Okay. So before we do that, let's go ahead and I'm going to do a quick recording session. I'm going to do a quick mic check right here. Okay. Testing. Let's see. Okay. I think we got it. We should be good to go. All right. So, like I said, guys, no articles this time. I'm just going to go off the cuff. I'm just going to go completely off the cuff on this one. So, only thing I can ask is bear with me on this one. I did see a super chat. Snow, I'll give you your booty break after I do the recording. So just bear with me. But I do see that. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Snow, it was great. Great show last night. I got to hang out with him on the season finale with him and friends. Of course, I got to see Ray, Saggy Melons again, Piper there. Hung out on YouTube, then on Rumble, where it got really, really spicy on Rumble. So that was really cool. But if you guys are not subscribed to Snowdub, get him to 11K subscribers, okay? Skull and Tuck and Roll, brother. I will address your super chat after I do this recording, okay? All right. Anyway. Okay, let me go and get my audio. Perfect. Okay, so that way I have like two pieces of audio that I can actually bring this up, okay? I can actually use. So I'm going to be recording through OBS, and I'm going to be recording through OBS and then the voice recorder. So I'll have just two pieces of audio that I can use to record the footage. Okay, so you guys bear with me on this one. All right, and we should be ready to go. I couldn't. Wish I could drop it. No worries. I'll make the also for tree comes on. So yeah, just so don't worry, guys, and we'll have some pleasant in the background. Okay, I'll have some pleasant in the background as we go on. All right, okay, guys, ready? Let me just do one more mic check real quick. Testing. Check real quick. Testing. Okay, perfect. Let me just bump up my audio just a little bit louder. So, okay. All right. Let me see. Would you guys? Let me ask you this: would you guys like for me to put up some? Would you guys like for me to put up some footage of Expedition 33 in the background while I do this recording? Say one in the chat for yes. Would you? I'll put it in the chat real quick. Going to record. The for a background on Oblivion Master. I don't have any of Expedition 33. Just keep the screen as is, or maybe okay. All right. I'm gonna give you guys a minute. So I'm gonna let you guys decide what would you guys like to have in the background while I record this for 30 minutes. So, but in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and address Snowdub's comment. Snowdub super $2 super chat. We got a lovely $2 super chat from the man, the myth, the legend himself, Jolly Snowdub. Skull and Tuck and Roll. And just for that, I shall give you I shall give you Jane Doe. Let's give you a booty break for this one. I'm getting that rat. All right. If I got to deal with the 50-50 just so I can get that rat, I gotta get her. So if that means I have to deal with that whole 50-50 shit, so I gotta do like what, eight more sets of 10 pulls just so I can get Jane. I'll do it. I'm getting that rat before this update is up, before 1.7 is finished. So it's almost like anyway. Draw where you. So people are voting to draw while I record. Okay. Then I will do just that. Okay, we'll do just that then. Okay, so just want to make double check. Let me do one last test. Let's do one last. Why am I sound like Dante's Rent Room right now? Let's do one last test. All right. There we go. Here we go. We gotta talk about nerd and geek culture stuff. So shout out to Dante. Let me do one last test. Let's do one last. Why am I sound like Dante's Rent Room right now? Let's do one last test. Okay, I think we got. All right, there we go. I think we're gonna talk about nerd and geek culture stuff. So shout out to Dante. I think we got it. Okay. All right. I got Shannon Lakers at 5. This is Clarence. Nice. Okay. All right. I think we are ready. Okay. All right. I will record in 3, 2, 1. Thank you. Okay, let's do this. All right. So like I said, guys, just bear with me on this one. So I'm going to try to articulate the best points I can. All right. 3, 2, 1. Okay. So Bethesda has shadow dropped. I won't say shadow drop. Bethesda has definitely announced the release date of the leaked Elder Scrolls Oblivion remaster. Let me say that one more time. That was a terrible. That's terrible. Let me say that again. So let me say that again. Sorry. Let me say that again. Okay. So last week we saw something very, very interesting and actually very, very exciting. Bethesda did a showcase for the Elder Scrolls. Let me say that one more time. Bear with me on this. So Bethesda showed off last week. Bethesda showed off their new next title, which is the remake of Elder Scrolls Oblivion. And while at the same time, they also announced that the game is going to be released practically on the same day. Not only that, we saw the long-awaited release in the same week, just only 2 days prior. We only saw the long-awaited release of Claire Obscure Expedition 33, a brand new AA RPG title. The point of this video is basically both games have succeeded in incredible ways, getting rave reviews absolute just so much support, not just from critics, but from critics and fans alike. And I think that the success of both Expedition 33 and Elder Scrolls V Remastered. I gotta do this again. Let me really say it again. Okay. Do this while drawing. Okay, focus. Pay attention. Just try to do this. Guys, just bear with me on this one, okay? I am trying, okay? Bear with me. Okay. Last week was very interesting. We saw the announcement and release of Bethesda's next title, which is the remake of the much beloved Elder Scrolls Oblivion. And at the same time, we also saw the release of Sand Hill Studios' newest RPG, Clair Obscur Expedition 33, a very much long awaited and much excited RPG title. What I found very interesting is that both games were released within only a few days apart, and they both have shared critical success. In fact, Expedition 33 is a contender for Game of the Year, as said some people, some outlets out there. However, what I found interesting was the way that the success of both games might spell a wake-up call for the industry. The question is, what is that wake-up call, and will the industry actually answer that wake-up call? Let's find out. Okay, how was that for an intro? How was that for an intro? Okay. Oh, how was that for an intro? Was that good? Bad? That was tough. Okay, let's do this again. I'm just gonna try to do this without, saying the whole thing. Okay. All right. Now it is time. And what I'm doing is I'm just gonna go ahead and just set up all my layers first. I'm gonna set up all my color overlayers first before we get into it. So, and here. I don't write this down, by the way. I'm not writing from a script. Like, I actually try to say it off the cuff. All right. Good morning. Okay, so this is after the intro is done. After the intro, now we can do the rest of the thing, okay? All right. Like I said, bear with me on this one, guys. Bear with me on this one. All right. Smack that lip by me, too. Okay. Okay. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are. My name is Makini90, artist, journeyman, and illustrator. Welcome you to another video here on the Makini Draws channel. Hope you all are doing well today. And we have a very interesting topic that I really want to go over, and that is concerning the success of both Oblivion, Elder Scrolls Oblivion remake, and Sand Hill Studios' Clair Obscur Expedition 33. I got the title wrong, didn't I? Fuck. I got the title wrong. Let me say that again. Okay, who developed this? I want to make sure I get the developers right. Did I say Sand Hill? Did I say Sand Hill What is it? Sandfall Interactive. What did I say? Oh my god, this is terrible. Oh, I'm getting okay. Sandfall Interactive. Okay, Sandfall Interactive. That's okay, cool.
Whatever you say, boomer. Okay, boomer. Yeah, boomer. Whatever you say, boomer. Okay, boomer. Yeah, boomer. Whatever you say, boomer.
Oh my god. I totally should put that as bloopers. That should be like my blooper reel right there. Okay. You know what? Let's do this because I want to have my information I want to have my information right here. So I just need to remember. It's Sandfall Interactive, Kepler Interactive. Elder Scrolls is Bethesda and Microsoft. Okay. Sandfall Interactive, Kepler Interactive, Bethesda Softworks, and Virtuous. Virtuous and Bethesda. Bethesda, Virtuous, Sandfall Interactive, Kepler Interactive. Okay, let's rewind and let's start over. Okay. I got this. I'm trying to do this while drawing and talking. So I'm not really good at that. So. All right. So last week was a very, very interesting week in the world of gaming. We saw releases of Bethesda and Virtuoso's Elder Scrolls remaster, which is, of course, the remaster of the 20-year-old, and man, that is old, the beloved 20-year-old RPG. At the same time, we saw the much anticipated release of Kepler Interactive and Sandfall Interactive's Clair Obscur Expedition 33. What I found very interesting about both titles is that they were released within a couple of days of each other, but not just that, they have gone on to endure incredible success in numbers, critical praise. In fact, one title is actually being regarded as Game of the Year material. What I want to dive into is both of these titles may be a wake-up call for the industry, not just with how they were made, but with also how they were promoted, how they were released, and such like that. The ultimate question is, will the industry answer that call, or will it be more of the same? Or in some cases, will the success of Elder Scrolls and the success of Expedition 33 just be a small blimp on the larger gaming industry? Let's find that out, shall we? Okay. So that was my introduction right there. Okay, you know what? That was good. That was good. That was a good introduction. That was a good introduction. Don't you all agree? Don't you all agree? Is that a good introduction? All right, let's do this. Okay, so I'm on the color over layer. Let's switch that over. Okay. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are. My name is Makini90, artist, journeyman, and illustrator. Welcome you to another video here on the Makini Draws channel. Hope you all are doing well today. And yes, we are talking about Bethesda and Virtuoso's Elder Scrolls. I just said Elder Scrolls Online. No, my apologies. Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered and Sandfall and Kepler Interactive's Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Both are brand new RPG titles. Well, one is the remaster of a beloved, and I mean 20-year-old beloved RPG franchise. Another is a brand new RPG title that seems to take it back to its turn-based roots with a very enthralling world story and characters and art and design, and its potential Game of the Year contender, as said by many within the critic space and even within the player base as well. I thought it'd be interesting to kind of go into what makes both of these games successful and how that could spell a wake-up call for the industry. Or will the industry just sleep on this again and, not actually take anything to heart from why both of these games are successful? But before we do here, you guys know what I'm about to say. Smack that like button, make it jiggle. Smack that subscribe button, make it jiggle. Thank you guys for your support as always. And let's start with Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remaster. So, Oblivion Remaster has been leaked, has been rumored for a while now. The question was, when was it going to finally drop? And with Oblivion Remaster, they dropped it on the same day that they announced the game, which was actually kind of surprising, though. I gotta say, it was a little bit surprising about that. But what was even more interesting was the talk surrounding it and how successful it got, because Oblivion is, of course, a beloved IP, a beloved RPG, arguably one of the greatest of all time, and one of Bethesda's best titles. Having Virtuous at the helm, who have had their huge share of remaking and porting over successful titles to the PC and such, work at the helm with the Elder Scrolls Remaster, and needless to say, they stayed pretty faithful to the original game while updating it for current gen hardware, updating it for current gen standards, for current gaming standards and such like that. Now, there was some controversy. Granted, there was some controversy regarding some of the things in Elder Scrolls Oblivion remaster, but that is not what we're going to focus on. In fact, I dedicated a segment of my previous episode of Makini Live, which I do every Sunday at 11 a.m. on the channel. Check that out if you guys want for me to go further into that particular topic. But what I want to go into is the success of Oblivion Remaster. The game came out with a strong showing. As the time of this recording, it is over 220,000 players on Steam, breaking a 260,000 all-time concurrent players and 24-hour peak concurrent players, and it's not hard to see why. Oblivion is essentially a harken back to what made Bethesda games so wonderful, what made us love the company to begin with. Oblivion is the old school, is the tried and true old school RPG, first person RPG. No microtransactions, no season passes, no DLC, unless you count the horse armor. Actually, it's kind of where it's kind of the horse armor kind of started there, if you think about it. Or Skyrim, I can't remember. But none of that modern gaming tropes that we're seeing right now, where you're just being nickeled and dimed for everything. This game came out of the bat at a $50 price tag, $60 for the deluxe edition, and what you see is what you get. You get a full RPG experience, a full Elder Scrolls experience, just as it was back in the early 2000s. A full campaign with endless, and I mean endless side quest, endless a very deep and enriching campaign, a world that you're enthralled in from day one. Just players have basically lived their lives within games like Oblivion and Skyrim. And it's why it's so beloved today. So seeing it remastered with updated graphics, bug fixes, you name it, and while still staying tried and true to its original intent, tried true to the original, is what made the game such a big success and a well-deserving success. The thing is, I do hearken on the industry almost living in the past in a way, almost trying to live in the past, almost trying to, we talk about remake after remake. Like Sony, for example, Sony has a heavy hand. Sony is very heavy-handed when it comes to that, releasing remakes of their popular titles, that haven't even went past 10 years old. It's just, I don't see that. I see that there's a problem with remakes and not willing to try something new and original, or try something in new perspective. However, you look at the trends now. You look at how the current gaming generation, the current, I guess you could say the Gen Z, the Gen Alphas, how a lot more people are starting to lean towards playing retro games, playing classical games from, my time. I'm a 90s kid, 2000s teen, so I grew up in the Genesis, the SNES, the N64, the Dreamcast, and then obviously my golden age was the PlayStation 2, Xbox, GameCube era. That's where I came from. And gaming back then is such a different time than it is now, the way you see kind of gaming as it is now. And it's very interesting about that we're seeing a lot of the current, the current audience who are more into these mega live service titles, these mega, these Fortnites, these Call of Duties, all of those, a lot of those, like, instant kind of gratification, instant kind of gaming kind of titles where you're being nickeled and dimed every single step of the way. You're not sitting down to have like a full experience. How they're starting to gravitate towards those classic titles now, because what we're offered especially within this current gen hardware, and it's just my opinion, my personal opinion, what we're offered in this current gen hardware is it's not matching up to the standards of what we got back then. And keep in mind, that was a different time. I agree. That was a totally different time than where we are now. So for new players, for new people to experience the Elder Scrolls in the way it did, in how it is now, and experience Oblivion the same way that a lot of people, especially my age or even older, who have been spent their practically in their lives within the world of the Elder Scrolls, is going to be a big plus, is a big experience, it's an enjoyable experience. And I think it's something that, the industry can understand and learn from, is that you don't need to go big. You don't need to go heavy a lot of times, especially within the RPG camp now that we're seeing more and more RPGs, or more and more games that pretend to be RPGs. We're seeing more and more of that now. And it seems to be that, it's not just the nickel and diming, it's just the way the game's structured, the way it feels like you're doing fetch quests, you're doing, the Ubisoft. We talk about the Ubisoft formula with games like Assassin's Creed and such like that, where you're not feeling as immersed into the game's world, the game's characters, the experience and such like that, the fantasy of it all, the immersion of it all. We're getting that. Now, granted, there are outliers. We're definitely still getting RPGs like that. And we're actually about to get that when it comes to the next title we're talking about, in fact. But we are still getting games like that. We're still playing games like that. It's definitely not just coming from the West, but definitely coming from the East. And definitely coming from, other places than what, we're used to, what we should expect in a way. I think that the way, if you look at it this way, Bethesda, Microsoft, and Virtuos, they announce the game and release it on the same day. It's released on PC and Xbox, of course, obviously, sorry if that was my phone there, obviously Xbox Game Pass. So Game Pass, you're going to get that for free. But the base price of the Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remaster is just $50. That's it. Just $50. I think this is a win for Xbox. I think this is a win for Bethesda, because throughout this, and I will admit that I am paraphrasing from what Legendary Drop said in his video. Xbox is on the back foot. Xbox isn't really even competition anymore for the likes of Sony and Nintendo. Ever since I brought up in a previous video when I was talking about Avowed. The Xbox One really was the nail in the coffin for Microsoft, for the Xbox brand. It really screwed them over. And ever since then, they have been trying to play catch up. They have been trying to find some kind of advantage over Sony, trying to way to stay in the console race, with the feeling that Xbox won't release another console, that the Xbox One, with the dwindling success of the Xbox Series X, Series S, and such like that. It's just Xbox is on the back foot. Xbox is just not doing well. So their ace in the hole was always Game Pass. Going this subscription service route that you're seeing a lot of companies, a lot of publishers go with their titles. That seemed to help them out, but it didn't help them out in the long run. Like, you can release games like you can release those kind of games like Elder Scrolls, or even say a South of Midnight or other smaller titles, and have it released on Game Pass, which is, would be free for people who subscribe to it, but still sell it. But is that going to equate to sales? For me personally, I always feel that Game Pass was a mistake. We can agree to disagree. I do feel that Game Pass ultimately was a mistake. And the first party support for Xbox is now waning. We don't have that. We don't have that juggernaut in Halo anymore. We don't have that. We're still long out from another Gears of War. Is that still going to bring it back to its former glory? Forza is officially on PlayStation now. They've multi-platform to PlayStation. Their first-party exclusives are not first-party exclusive anymore. They're on PC, free via Game Pass, or on Steam, or they're expanding into bringing their first-party titles over to PlayStation and other platforms. And keep in mind, Xbox has control. Microsoft has ownerships of so many platforms, such as the biggest ones, of course, being Bethesda and Activision Blizzard. But have they gotten a return on investment for that? I don't think so. I think they really messed up in this generation. So seeing the Elder Scrolls and releasing it at just a $50 price tag, I think it's a win for them, because it's kind of what Legendary Drops kind of pointed out. Xbox can gain a foothold by just being the reasonably priced of the bunch. Look at it this way. Nintendo planning to release their titles for up to $80 to $90. The biggest game of this generation hasn't came out yet, but it's already rumored that it's going to be released at $100 as the base price. You look at the current gen titles releasing at $60 to $70. I think Xbox, and I keep saying Bethesda, my apologies. I think Xbox releasing their titles at a reasonable price, especially their first-party titles, at a reasonable price, I think that's going to give them a leg up. And I think it's going to help them kind of get themselves back in that console game, back in the gaming industry space, because they have always been on the back foot, because now they're on the back foot more than ever, if you think about it. With Elder Scrolls, I also think that it reminded people why we loved Bethesda, why everyone loved Bethesda back in the day. With the likes of the old Fallouts, the old Elder Scrolls. Starfield, I think we can unanimously agree that Starfield, that was supposed to be their killer IP, their brand new IP in years, is not going to be looked upon positively as time goes on. I think Bethesda and Todd Howard, I think they seriously dropped the ball with Starfield. So maybe the best way to move forward with Bethesda is to go back to remaster and learn from that. Not just remaster older titles like say another Fallout, Fallout 3 or New Vegas remaster, but just learn from what makes what made their title successful, what made Elder Scrolls Oblivion successful, what made Fallout 3 successful, what made early Fallout games successful, what made Skyrim successful, and take that to their upcoming titles, because all eyes are going to be on the Elder Scrolls 6. And if you really think about that, Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be on an uphill climb. That's going to be a mountain to climb, and that's going to be a big shoes to fill. So expectations are high for the next Elder Scrolls. And I don't think Bethesda can take another Starfield. I don't think they can suffer another Starfield. I don't think Microsoft can suffer another big financial AAA failure. And they have all these studios under their wing. They have all these support under their wing. They have everything under their control, but it's just middling. The studios are closing down. Their own studios under them are closing down, Games are just being flops and failures and such like that. Like, Xbox has lost this control. They've lost that foothold in the industry. Sony is basically in a class of its own now. And we need that competition. And I think Xbox going this route with, a remaster, of course, and despite how we feel about having remasters all the time, but releasing it at a reasonable price is going to give them a leg up, especially when the pricing for gaming, especially for physical products, especially on consoles, is bumping up more and more. And that's just something not sustainable, we always say the live service stuff isn't going to be as sustainable as long as they want it to be, as long as it's going to be, because our time is finite. A lot of people would rather just sit down and have a full experience that they can get lost themselves within for about an hour, 2 hours at a time, that they can always go back and continue on, not having to deal with, having to deal with cash shops and FOMO, fear of missing out content, that everything is right there. It's for them to experience it, at their own time, at their own pace. A lot of time, I keep saying that I would love for the industry to go back to the sixth generation mentality where the technology was limited. Because I think it focused on quality experience, focused on getting your money's worth. And I think Xbox learning to, what gets players money's worth is not going the live service route, is not going, trying nickel and dime, trying to use this Game Pass subscription, release a full experience that's worth people's time and money. But then again, this is Xbox, so they may not learn from this. They may just see this as a way to get a leg up and to recuperate their losses. However, that was only one title that was released in the same way within 2 days apart, in fact. The next title I want to bring up is the success of Sandfall Interactive's Claire Obscure Expedition 33. Expedition 33, I think, is something that the industry needs to learn on a different front here, because the game was released at $50, I think, is released at the same price, $50. And it's not a big studio. Sandfall Interactive is, in fact, a 30 developer studio. It's a small team. And they're releasing, frankly, a double A title. However, the quality for $50, you are getting a fully immersive world of visually encapsulating art style, characters that feel very grounded, that feel very down to earth, that feel believable, that feel very relatable. Not relatable in a sense of, representation and all that kind of jazz, but relatable in the sense that they act like believable characters that you can, attach yourselves to. For $50, you got an engrossing world with this gorgeous art style. Just this very high fantasy feeling to it, that it harkens back to the early days of Final Fantasy. Harkens back to those early RPG days, even JRPGs. And this isn't a JRPG. This is a JRPG made by a French developer. It really does feel that. And plus, you have the plus of having a star-studded cast, including, the one and only Charlie Cox, Netflix's Daredevil, as the main character. It's able to deliver for $50. You are getting a 30 what from what I've heard, it is a 30-hour experience with another 30 hours of additional side content on top of that. No microtransactions, no nickel and diming, no fear of missing out content. You're getting the full game as it is. Yes, you get pre-order bonuses and such like that. Standard fare. But you're getting a full experience, though. It's like, I almost want to say you have a French studio who was learning from how a JRPG is, how JRPGs were made, and they wanted to make their own JRPG. We always hold JRPGs like Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest to such a high regard for being full experiences right out of the box. And I think another thing that is a major plus in Expedition 33's favor is the fact that it is released with very little bugs, very little technical glitches. It's fully ready to go. You turn that key and the engine starts roaring. And there's no problems whatsoever when you roll out of the dealership. That's what I'm hearing with Expedition 33. On top of that, and I think the one cherry on top is that the visuals, not only does it have a visually interesting and a lovely art style, but having very pleasing looking characters on top of that. I always talk about that on here on the channel, especially when I say at the end of my videos, never apologize for wanting attractive women in your media, especially in video games. We get that. We got that here. And that was like a cherry on top, a cherry on top of an already delicious cake. Already delicious French baguette. Let's split it that way. But I think the industry can learn from Expedition 33 on the fact that it's a small team and it's doing a AA budget title with the bells and whistles, with the kind of that mindset, with kind of that vibe of a AAA title. And the fact that it's a turn-based RPG, especially in a mainstream space where turn-based RPGs are very few and far between, is a major plus. Something that's very easy to get engrossed yourself in the world into. Something combat that is easy to pick up and play, easy to pick up and play, hard to master. A very rewarding single player experience. The game is completely single player. I think that's something industry needs to understand more, is that a lot of gamers nowadays, of course, you're always going to have those live service, and you're always going to have those multiplayer titles that are going to succeed, but people will want to sit down and play a full single player experience. Your Elden Rings, your first Berserker or Berserker Kazan, your Stellar Blades of the world. All those single player experiences I'm noticing that it's becoming much more and more of a trend, and more gamers are starting to really, really hitch their ride towards and getting more out of than just, playing a multiplayer, having a multiplayer live service title with constant updates and a cash shop and such like that. I'm not saying that people aren't getting anything from those, but I think that there's going to be I'm starting to see that there's going to be a more pivot towards a stronger case of making a very strong single player experience, quality over quantity, basically. You put down $50 for a quality single player experience, and you're going to get more out of it than, say, a multiplayer hero shooter out of it. But that one is subjective. Than a free to play multiplayer shooter or something like that. I'm noticing that, and I noticed that when come awards season, Claire Obscure Expedition 33 is definitely going to be in that run for Game of the Year, as what many players and critics have said from their experience. And I'm actually very interested in wanting to try that game myself, because I've heard so many good things about it and seen some of the gameplay, and it's visually enthralling. It's original. And the best part is that this is a game made by a small team. I think the overall theme when I look at this is that, and when you look at both Oblivion and Expedition 33, especially the fact that they're released in the same week within a couple of days apart, is that this is the benefits of doing less with more. Or doing more. I'm sorry. The benefits of doing more with less. People would, a lot of people say that, these, you have in an era where we have these bloated AAA budgets, and I mean bloated. Like, games that are costing like what, 300 million to develop, up to the 400 million develop, end up becoming huge failures. Go back to a small team. Go back to having a limited budget and work, be creative with that. A lot of people were saying it in that way. And it doesn't help that Expedition 33, within 3 days of launch, has not only engrossed nearly 200 current 200 player count, a high player count on Steam. I might be wrong. I have to check the Steam charts. Okay, here we go. So this is Makini in the editing bay here. My apologies. 120,000 peak on Steam, with 90,000 currently playing at the time of this video, at the time of this recording. Sorry about that. But the fact that a small team of 30 people making a AA title, grossing 120,000 in an all-time peak within 3 days. Not only that, getting 1 million copies within 3 days. And I said 1 million copies, not 3 million players, as we saw with another Ubisoft title, a big budget Ubisoft title that was released not too long ago. There's a difference. There's a difference to copies sold and how many players, though. And the fact that Expedition 33 is also on Game Pass, if you think about it that way as well. I think going for a smaller budget, but doing less with more, and working with limited budgets, working with a smaller team instead of just working with 2,000 to 3,000 people, where it doesn't feel like it's allocated to the things that should matter, I think is something that the industry probably needs to learn more towards, especially within the AAA Western industry, because Expedition 33 is a Western title. It's definitions a Western title. It's their own take of a Japanese. It's a French studio, but it's their own take of a Japanese RPG, and I think it's deserving success. Is something that I think the industry needs to keep an eye out, or something that the industry can learn from, but will not learn from. Ultimately, I think both games releasing the same week is almost like an anomaly. It's almost like that whole. Do you guys remember the whole what was it, Barbenheimer? Barbenheimer back 2 years ago, where you had the Barbie film and Oppenheimer release in the same window, and both of them raked in billions of dollars at the box office. I think Expedition 33 and Oblivion remastered, I think it might be a little Barbenheimer going on here. We need to come up with that. Maybe we can call that week Expedition Oblivion 33. Or we can call it Oblivion 33. I don't know. What do you guys think? What would you call the success of Expedition 33 and Oblivion Remastered? Let me know. Let me come up with some names in the comments. I'd like to hear your ideas. I'm going to stick with Oblivion 33. 33. Anyway, I thought this would be interesting. So, that's just my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comment section down below. Let's get a discussion going. Especially, would like to hear kind of if you have some interesting titles, interesting names to combine Expedition 33 and Oblivion Remastered. Anyway, guys, smack that like button, make it jiggle. Smack that subscribe button, make it jiggle. Massive thank you to everyone in the Cute, Sexy, and Fun Nation. Of course, you guys want to see your name on the screen, join the channel for as low as $1 a month. Get access to exclusive art drops that I do every 2 months for my channel members. Thank you guys so much. Of course, like I said, smack like button, make it jiggle. Smack subscribe button, make it jiggle. Because, trying to get to 6K before the end of the year and all that good stuff. Follow me on my socials, Twitter, Newgrounds, Etsy shop, all links in the description. And of course, I thank you all for watching. I'm Makini 90 Arts, German and Illustrator, and I'll see you all next time for another video. So until then, stay cute, stay sexy, have fun. Take care, much love. Never apologize for wanting attractive women in your media and your video games, especially in your video games. Look at Expedition 33. And above all else, never stop drawing. And we're done. There we go. There we go. Got the full recording. Wow, that was I got a that was a big recording. I clocked in at like 33 minutes, so I think it was like a 35 minute video. So we got plenty to go over. So let's go ahead and take a moment. We got 15 people watching. You guys are freaking amazing. We got 15 people watching. Do me a favor. Of course, you guys know what I'm about to say. You guys want to know what I'm about to say?
Hey, if you're enjoying this program, please smack that like button and make it jiggle.
And smack that subscribe button if you want to see more art content from Makini. Thank you so much, and hope you enjoy the show.
Later.
That never gets old. I want a 3D. I want like a 3D render of just that animation from Brown Dust. That's from Brown Dust 2, by the way. That's some of the most base. That's some of the most, the most goonerous stuff there too. Anyway, let's go ahead and say hi. Let's go ahead and I want to catch up with the chat real quick. Because wow, you guys are going, man. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's go all the way back. I think I see a familiar face. Magic Realms. Good day to you. Better than the ones in New York. I guess Surge. Clarence Price. Blooper reels. Yeah, I got. Yeah, you had your blooper reels right there. I had my blooper reels right there. Magic Realms. I agree. Yes, and you introduced your topic clearly. Thank you, Grumpy. Thank you, Grumpy. Let me know how I do there. I try to be as clear and concise as possible. Everybody's saying smack that like button, make it jiggle. Thank you guys. So I don't know if it endures success though. It revels in it, but revels in success. Yes, I agree. I think in Bethesda's case, it's definitely going to revel in its success, and you could probably say the same with Expedition 33. But I think as far as enduring success, and I think it will get that success in my humble opinion. I think it will revel in that success in a way. But the question is, will the industry kind of learn from this Barbenheimer of a launch, Barbenheimer of a release, basically. Good Rich, good to see you. I suspect we'll see more remasters. They're cheaper and less risky to make these days than a new IP with 300 plus person team, or 3,000 plus if you go by Ubisoft standards. But just saying. But you are right though. Ronnie G says, "Joke's on you. I don't even remember my blood type." Right, good to see you. Glad to hang out with you last night. That was fun. Tuck and Roll show season finale was a lot of fun. You guys are crazy. Anyway, let's see what else. Emerald says, Sony remaking or remastering games that aren't even a generation and a half, 5 years. Yeah, so yeah, that was I was referring to, because Sony has a habit of remastering. Sony's new thing is starting to remaster games that aren't even a decade old. See, with The Last of Us and Horizon. And we're probably going to get a Days Gone remaster, despite the fact that the game hasn't even... Days Gone released in 2019, if I'm correct, and it's not even 5 years. It's not even 6 years old. It's just crazy, man. I grew up with Atari and NES, ColecoVision, Commodore 64, so I was a teen in the SNES and 64 generation era. I was a child at the SNES, NES, and Genesis era. I was a teen at the PS2, Xbox, and GameCube era. And I was in college. No, I graduated from college on the same year as the 8th gen, the PS4, Xbox One. So, yeah. So I was I was in my early 20s with PS4, Xbox One, that generation to 8th gen. And I was in my 30s in the 9th gen. Or is it my 9th gen? I don't even know if we're going to have a 10th gen, though. I don't even know. Almost 20. We yet to have an NBA Street or NBA Ballers. Hell, an EA Sports Big Like game with the highest on NBA Streets, old enough to vote. Exactly. I was 10, grew up on the NES at that point, skipped the SNES, but my brother had a Game Gear. Yep. I actually liked all those things, but otherwise divorced from EA when they got exclusivity contract with the NFL. That should be illegal, and that they still have that exclusive contract. And it was all because of NFL 2K5. The greatest football game ever made, basically. And they released, what the best part was? NFL 2K5 released their game at only $20 compared to the $50 for Madden 05 at that time. So EA were so mad about NFL 2K5 success that they had to up the exclusivity deal to NFL for the next 20 years at this point. They're the only game in town to do an NFL license. EA are the only players to do an NFL licensed simulation football game, too. Forza is also no good anymore. Neither is Gran Turismo. It's to be told. People are loving Horizon 5. I'm actually happy to see Sony players experience Horizon 5 though. So I'm actually happy to see that. Replaces the main writer. Forget Spell's last name is right. I'm sorry. 30 devs, which is impressive. Yes, it is only 30 devs. That's a small team. We're seeing like a lot of my favorite. There's a lot of games that I'm actually looking forward to that are just indie titles, basically small teams. Though I'm wondering what the dev team is for. It does make me wonder what the dev team is for Wu Chang Fallen Feathers and Tides of Annihilation, which is another which I'm not looking forward to. Which is basically. I've already said this on Friday. Tides of Annihilation is basically Stellar Blade, just more British. Stellar Blade, just more British, though. It's more British. Because Eve isn't British enough. Eve's not British enough. I love that, though. I love that Itaki and Raven all have British VA. All have English voice British VAs, though. I'm like, you know what? That actually works. By the way, happy 1 year anniversary to Eve and Shift Up for Stellar Blade. I am so beyond excited for the PC release of Stellar Blade in June. I can see Persona inspiration. Yeah, there's definitely Persona inspiration from it. I think there's a lot of inspirations from it too. Modern Code Lyoko in a video game. Yeah, I agree. There'd be a French Silk Pie. Yeah, quality over quantity. Single player is the way it is. It is the future. And in some ways, I think it's kind of like I was saying with the marathon. Like what I was saying with the marathon. My marathon video was that, I think live service is just. I think live people are just starting to just be tired of the live service experience, and I've said this before, and it's like I'm thinking I'm might start to pull back a little bit more when it comes to gacha games now. So I'm just sticking with, Zenless Nikkei and Snowbreak, and I think that's it for me though. Like, I think even I'm going to start to kind of pull back just because, I wasn't a fan of the whole 50-50 thing, 50-50 soft pity when it came to Zenless. So, but, I don't think people want to be tuned in to doing dailies all the time, and it made me, it really did make me think about that. Cause I'm like, man, I got so much more out of just spending like 2 hours just playing Cyberpunk than I did with, logging into my gacha games just to do dailies all the time, it made me realize that. And I'm like, I thought about that. And I thought about that. I remember bringing that up, and I'm like, man, I would take everything about Zenless and I would make it into a premium, like, single player RPG. I would turn it into a full-on single player RPG without the gacha. Just completely just get rid of that. Just give me everything. Like, right there out of the box. Give me like a full 30 to 40 to 50 hour campaign, 50-hour RPG with plenty of side quests and such like that. Make it so that, all the agents are, you have their unlock requirements for getting all the agents. You can build up, each agent has their own, skill trees and such like that, but also has their own relationship trees where it unlocks even more side missions, unlocks very like side quests and such like that just for that character. Just take all of that and just put it in a premium $60, $50 to $50 title, and I would be set for life, man. Because I would be just buying it out up front and just making it so that, you get all you get all your agents. There's unlike require, you get all your agents. Same thing with Nikkei. I love Nikkei, and by the way, I absolutely love Nikkei. It's just, take that into a fully priced single player RPG, and just remove the gotcha out of it. Yeah, and it's a shame because there's such a, and I agree with Emerald, is that it kind of sucks because it's like as much as I love the games, I love the gacha games I'm playing, it is a way it feels like, man, you kind of are wasting excellent character design. I mean, phenomenal character designs and phenomenal gameplay too. And I'm like, man, package this into a full experience, and that game would sell like hotcakes. Like, freaking hotcakes, man. I'm like, take this and package it into a fully priced single player game, man. Where just all that content, like right in front of all that, you get a full campaign like right out the box, man. I think about that though. I confirm that smaller teams are more efficient. You actually have said that many times before, Goodrich. Smaller teams are much more efficient than larger teams, and I think Expedition 33 is a shining example of that. I don't know if it was the same for Virtuous, who were the developers along with Bethesda for the Elder Scrolls Oblivion remaster, but yeah, it has definitely shown that smaller teams are much more efficient and able to knock it out. I think it's something that, the AAA industry is going to need to learn a lot from, and especially the Western industry too. Because, it's what we saw with Stellar Blade, what we're seeing with games like Black Myth Wukong, even upcoming titles like Phantom Blade Zero, Tides of Annihilation and such like that. The East is going back to that, premium action RPG, premium video game, basically making a fully priced experience and getting your money's worth, man. They're stepping in. They're basically stealing the lunch from the Western AAA industry, which they've always had. And if you think about it, when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. Exactly. Stark of Iron, good to see you. Say hi to Alf. I had fun with them there. Just trying to get out of that window, though. Claire Obscure is an example of devs taking risks. Remasters are the safe way for studios to stay up. Almost, I agree. Magic Worlds, I agree 1,000%. Yeah, it's definitely with Expedition 33. They took a risk, and that risk is paying off immensely. Speaking of which, and we'll be almost out of here because I do want to show two more games before I want to show off a couple of games that I was looking for and I am looking forward to. Oblivion 33. I like 33rd Oblivion 33, Expedition Scrolls Oblivion 33. I like that. The Obscura Scrolls 33, the 33rd Oblivion Gate. This is the Barbenheimer right here. This is the Barbenheimer, Look at Oblivion 33. But it's almost like a miniature, like it was Expedition Scrolls 33rd Oblivion. The 33rd Oblivion. There you go. That's what we'll call it, the 33rd Oblivion. Or just I'll be sticking with Oblivion 33. But yeah, it's almost like a major Barbenheimer because both games releasing within the same week of only just a few days apart, and getting a big success and basically showing up some of the AAA games that came out. Some of the AAA games that came out this month alone. Actually, that's a good question. I want to look this up real quick. What were the list of games that came in April? What did we get? What did we get this month? We got, because we did get some big hitters. We got Korra Nif Nif. We got Steel Hunters, Last of Us 2 Remastered, Sand Elko Beach, Battlefield Wall South of Midnight. South of Midnight. What else do we get? Star Overdrive, Talos Principle. Let's see, my event. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, Phantom Breaker, Wisdom Academy, Expedition 33, City of the Wolves, 100 Line. Let's see, Days Gone Remastered, which would come out, Balance Force Horizon 5, and yes. And then what do we have next month? We got Metal Eden, Doom the Dark. Oh, the big ones. Yep. Sean's looking forward to this one. Metal Eden, Doom the Dark Ages, May 5th. Doom the Dark Ages, Capcom Fighting Collection 2, Dune Awakening, Onimusha 2 Remaster, Elden Ring Night Rain at the end of this month, Lost Soul Aside at the end of this month, and Rune Factory. So the biggest ones for Sean, the biggest one is Doom the Dark Ages, which is May 15th, and then Lost Soul Aside May 30th. But I'm looking forward to Capcom Fighting Collection 2, only because you got Capcom versus SNK 2 and Project Justice. Justice on here. Like, we didn't get Rival Schools, which is so weird. We rival schools though. But yeah, Onimusha 2 is going to be next month. June is looking huge. Of course, June that is the Nintendo Switch 2. But, Bravely Default, the Switch launch title, Cyberpunk, of course, Stellar Blade on PC in June. A lot of stuff coming out June, July. Yeah, it's going to be a packed year. It's definitely going to be a packed year. But yeah. What were the two games? And let's go down the list here. You need 33 hours to spell it out. Shut up. Hey, Magic. Flying too close to the sun. I agree. Brown Dust is still a terrible name. I know there has to be a meaning towards behind Brown Dust. It's her name, Brown Dust. But yeah, I think the industry is linked somewhat, but learning it slowly but slowly. Yeah. And I think it's going to take, I think they definitely need to learn a lot of this before, the inevitable. I do think that there is going to be an inevitable crash at some point. I do think, especially in the AAA market, there is going to be an inevitable crash. Last of Us being released 100 freaking times, man. Jesus Christ. Yeah. We got a remaster of a remake. The next one is going to be a remake of a remaster of a remake. Live services, or when I first heard about it, just go for a Nikkei for dailies, and you just start feeling like an obligation. Yeah, and it shouldn't feel like an obligation though. That's how I see it. It shouldn't feel like an obligation. Gotchas are live service are wasted good. Yeah, I know. East to the west, give me your lunch money, nerd. Exactly. Doom Mansion, yes. Yep, May 15th, Doom the Dark Ages. Sean is very excited about that. A lot of people are very excited about that one. Lost Soul Aside says Magic Realms. Thank God I'm up Soul Seal. There. Brown Dust. Yes. Now, I do want to share what was Kitman brought this up? Kitman, I don't know if I want to share Kitman's video though. But there was that what is that game? There was that Snow White game that was showed off 2 weeks ago. I'm looking forward to that. They did a Future Games showcase where there was, I think, 2 games that I was very interested. You know what? I'm going to cover this tomorrow. I'm going to save this one tomorrow. So York's torch getting torched. And I forgot the Vent Vibe. Oh, we got some. Yeah, we probably don't have time for that. Okay. There were 2 games that I want to talk about real quick. 2 games I want to share real quick. And they came from the Future. I think it came from the Future Games show that happened this past weekend. Nexus mods. Oh God. Anyway, the first one is Spine. So you don't know what Spine is. Spine is they released this a couple days ago, but this is a gun Yeah, Gunfu combat game. Very Arkham like. It's very Arkham like. I like what's going on here. Oh, her name is Redline. Okay. Sorry.
Like a gun fu movie, like Redline turning opponents' guns against them instead of carrying an inventory. She can use spray paint to blind her enemies, attack with nearby objects.
Some people
and
were
use
saying that like
environment to her
the
advantage.
gameplay does look
Your
a little
gun fu skills will
slow.
be tested
It
against-
may look a little slow though, but I think it's fine. I think it should have had a little bit more faster pace, but you know, I think it's
foes
going
and
for more of an
powerful bosses,
Arkham
while
style
Redline's
combat.
spoiling
Though.
plant will sharpen her reflexes to even the odds. Dare to take on a bigger challenge? Turn on hardcore mode and wishlist Spine today.
Yeah, so you can wishlist Spine. I'm looking forward to it. They don't have a release date for that yet. The other one is a very small indie title that is getting a lot of attention that I'm really liking. The other one is a very small and it is called Motor. I'll show you this. I'll show you the trailer. I'll show you the trailer. They've been posting this on. This is from Regular Studio. They got how many folks? They got 43K subscribers, but this is Motor Slice. Why don't you look at this? You guys are gonna like this one. Getting a little Mirror's Edge, a little bit of like a Dark Souls in a way. It's a platformer though. Yeah, this is Motor Slide. I think Regular Studio. I think this is one developer, but they've been posting like developments of their stuff. And they like I said, they got like nearly 50K subscribers. So people are excited for this one. And the character's really cute too. I think she has a. I think the developer already released a character sheet for her, so people are already doing fan art of her. I like this stuff. I like this. Yeah, and we get classic drum and bass, man. We get some liquid drum and bass here. I'm liking that. Yeah, so it's called Motor Slide. Let's just put down on it as well. Yeah, and they got picked up by Top Hat, by the way. They got picked up by Top Hat Studios, which is really cool to see. And then the last game that was shown off, this one was shown off at Future Games Show. I forgot it was called. I think it's called Kira the. Fuck, I wish listed it too. I can't remember this one. I wish listed this one. Oh, I can't remember. Let me open up Steam. Real quick. It's on my wish list. Spine and Motor Slice you can wish list on Steam right now. Where is it? Let me open up my Steam real quick. Because freak, I forgot what the third title was. Let me open up my Steam real quick. Okay, what was it? It's Abyssic Zero. I'm looking forward to. Might Rhea. I'm looking forward to. Screamer, of course. Okay, I found it. Okay, you might be interested in this one, Emerald. Okay, you're gonna like this one. They showed this at the Future Game Showcase too. So this is that was Asuka the Ascent. It is done. It's a Toge. It's another Toge game. I'm very happy to see that one kind of caught me by surprise. It reminds me a lot of. Some people were bringing up kind of like the fact that it uses a lot of manga panels, is very reminiscent of Automodelista, but it reminds me a lot of Inertial Drift, which was one of my favorite indie racing titles back in 2020. But it's done in the style of a manga panel, so very Initial D like. But you know what? I'm always up for another like Toge, much more Toge focused racing title, and this one definitely seems to be up my alley. So Asuka, yeah, what Asuka is done and it's done in a manga style, which I think that's really cool though too. Really cool though. So very reminiscent of the old Kaido Battle 3 titles as well. Of course we have the likes of Japanese Drift. Of course we have the likes of Japanese Drift Master and Tokyo Extreme Racer Reboot is in the what was it, early access period on Steam. It's just really, really, really cool to see that. So just some games I'm looking forward to, and I'm still waiting for like I said, I'm still waiting for Abyss X. I'm still waiting for Abyss X. I can't say that. I can't say it properly. Abyss X Zero. That's what it's called. Abyss X Zero. There we go. This was released at Abyss X Zero, which is basically really cool. Like it's very kill a kill. Okay, very kill a kill. Thanks for recommendation. No problem. I don't know if this is a Western title or a title, but I'm noticing that like a lot of the indie titles I'm looking forward to now are either they're from Eastern developers or from an Eastern developer or from a Western developer who has a love for Eastern titles. If you get what I'm saying. I think this might be I think this is an Eastern developer, but it's an indie title though. It's an indie title, and some of them I find on Steam. And let me just one more thing. Project. Okay, Project Deniz. Okay, let me check real quick. I'll just go to real quick. Project. So you said Project Deniz. Okay, let's see what this is. Oh. Okay. So this is Unreal Engine. Is there a trailer for this one? Oh, it's a work in progress. Okay. Project Deniz EVR trailer. Let me see. It's interesting. Is there a trailer for this one though? He's still working on it. Okay, so it's been in development for a while. Okay. It's in development for a while. Okay. So developers work in progress. I follow if you guys have recommendations for like developers that you guys follow on like Twitter or YouTube or so, just let me know in the comments. I definitely want to check out some of their titles too. And I think the future, I think moving forward, I think I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye out on more indie titles now than AAA stuff, unless AAA titles that really capture my attention, That's really cool. It's just sorts of work in progress stuff. It looks good though. It looks good. So wow, what was she is dressed like Goku. There was a parkour platform you could play as Catgirl. Mirrors, it's corrected. Finds the drift, go drum bass. Yeah, Motor Slice looks really good. Most Lights looks really good. And like I said, there's like I said, we got a lot of freaking titles out there too. So anyway, that is it. That is it for me. I think you guys had enough of me for today. You guys had enough of me for today. So we'll go. I got videos to make anyway. So we gotta get in. I gotta eat. I guess get something to eat too. So anyway, you guys have been amazing. If you guys can smack that like button, make it jiggle. Smack that subscribe button, make it jiggle. Of course, big thank you to Mama Bear for showing her for big thank you to Mama Bear for stopping by and such like that. And I'll show you one more. You guys might like this. If you guys are big into like My Hero Academia and such like that, this doesn't have a release date though, but you can wishlist this on Steam, and that is Might Rhea. I'll show you this from 5. It's very DBC, like it's very DBC, Dragon Ball Z style. But I'm getting My Hero Academia vibes. Looks fun. It looks fun. Again, I definitely get some cool vibes to it. Good thing they're really good in the destructible environment, so. That was awesome. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. You guys been amazing. Thank you guys so much. All the good stuff. And so this morning, tomorrow, Makini in the morning, we'll work on the Daisy one. I'll see if I can get this, finish the Saya one out real soon. We're getting close to the end of the month, so join the channel if you have not. We gotta get some, if you want to get access to this month's art drops, and I got plenty of art drops this month for you guys as well. So for this term as well, and all that good stuff. So I'm gonna try to have the Expedition 33 Oblivion video out by, I want to say by the middle of the week. Hopefully by Wednesday or so. I would like to have it by Wednesday. Marketing More Money Friday. And I have the Bunny Girl speed art. I'm going to try to get that one out by Monday. If I can't get that one out by Monday, then I will try by Tuesday for certain. So anyway, guys, you guys have been amazing. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm Makini 90R, Sermon Illustrator. Thank you for tuning in to the Sexiest Sunday Afternoon Art Show on YouTube, Makini Live. Until tomorrow, stay cute, stay sexy, have fun, take care, much love. Never apologize for wanting attractive women in your media, especially in your video games. And above all else, never stop drawing. Have a great rest of your Sunday, guys. I will see you all tomorrow morning. Until then, peace.
To everyone in the cute, sexy, and fun nation, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. If you would like to see your name on the screen, join the CSF Nation for those month. You get access to exclusive art drops that Makini drops every 2 months for all CSF Nation members. Again, we would like to thank you for your incredible support. CSF Nation for life. Arigato.
Thank you for tuning in to Makini Live, the sexiest Sunday afternoon art show on YouTube. Remember to smack that like button and make it jiggle.
And make sure to share the stream out, everyone. The more eyes we get on the show, the better.
Become a channel member. For as low as $1 a month, you want to get access to some exclusive art goodies that Makini drops every 2 months for his channel members.
And subscribe if you want to see more art content from Makini.
Thank you all for watching. We will see you all next time here on Makini Live.
Makini Live is filmed before a live studio audience at Makini Studios in Arcadia Village's North Tower, right here in Pacific City.
Would you like free tickets to the next episode of Makini Live? Well, all you have to do is visit youtube.com/Makini90 or call 765-9077 toll free.
Makini Live is produced by Silver Nine Productions with Makini Draws Productions in association with Initial Lockhart Television and Macabre Banks Entertainment, and is distributed by CSF Nation Domestic Television Distribution.